everybody. This is session 32 of the Goblodyssey. It's kind of like the Odyssey, but with goblins. Today we have Even, the Shark Instinct Barbarian, Franco, the Braggart Swashbuckler, Mendex, the Scoundrel Rogue, Puck, the Hair-Obsessed Cosmos Oracle, and back for the first time since his daughter was born roughly 5 months ago, the triumphant return of G-Pain, the Summoner, and his plant eidolon, Gimbolo.
Sade.
So welcome back, Chirag. Welcome
What's
back,
up?
buddy.
What's up? Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Been a long time.
Yes, it's good to get out.
So congratulations, because last time we saw you was before.
Thanks, guys. I have
How's
a
it
little
been?
baby. It's totally wild. Totally fucking.
Good to have you
I
back.
think it'll be.
I'm happy things have finally settled down to the point where you can do things again.
Oh man, I've been looking forward to this for months. I tell you. I've been thinking about it for a long time.
Good. Again, you've been on the Discord the whole time, just chatting away. So glad you're getting back into it. So the MVP from last session was Franco. So Franco, you have 2 hero points, and there were no write-ups this week. Nas is failing at everything. It's terrible. No one wrote anything.
Terrible player.
No one gets an extra hero point. No one has to summarize anything now. So yeah, what do we remember from last session? We have a recap or anything? Anybody remember anything?
Yes. So basically, we were in the tidal cave with the big Cyclops, and Mendax talks him down and does introductions basically for all of us. Polyphemus is his name, and basically Mendex is talking about pulling the bolt out, and he winces every time he touches it like a baby. Mendex sweet talks him and convinces him that we were sent here to scold him, and he calms down and stops wanting to beat us to death. Franco changes from Ragan to the Dino Puppet and does a great call and performance, and all of a sudden Polyphemus is stoked. Even seasons a piece of meat for him and pulls the bolt when Polyphemus reaches down to grab it. Even and Puck sample the giant's golden blood. Mendex confirms that Polyphemus sometimes talks to Gozray, but not often. And he perpetuates this deception that we are luck goblins and that you have to treat us well. And he climbs up on his shoulder and his little conscience as he does the whole session. Even cooks for him, and he's stoked. He tells us about cheese making. Franco gets him to confirm that he can carry us out, and basically promises to take him to the dinosaur island if we do, as he cosplays a dinosaur, and he's stoked about the cosplay and he's stoked about the dino island. We play the Y game, and all the dads in the group start like shuddering with PTSD. Why? 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 He talks about secret friends for a while, and that has us a little nervous, like who's going to come here and who's going to beat us to death. And it turns out they're dolphins that he's milking, and he milks them, and he grabs the pink bioluminescent, puts it into the milk, and it starts curdling, and we figure out that this is an acid-based reaction. Even in Polyphemus talk cheese, and even feeds the dolphins and builds some rapport in case we need some help escaping out of here. Franco discusses and tries to command Polyphemus to get us out, but he seems nonplussed about it, and we learn all about diplomacy because we're still learning the game. Mendex basically tells him we have a real dino, and he tries to get Polyphemus to take us out right then, and he's not interested. Even gets Franco to convince Polyphemus to take out the NPCs, and he grabs them all to some of their horror, and then he says, big breath, and runs them out. As soon as they leave, we start scheming. If need be, we decide we'll get him drunk and then swim out, enlisting dolphin power as needed. And Puck depoisons the cheese from a previous scheme. Franco says prayer to Gozray. Even reminds him to sacrifice a fish. He does so. And he comes back, doesn't want to sleep. He wants to play with Franco the dinosaur like crazy. Finally goes to sleep. Franco further wrecks the ballista to give a show of good faith for Gozray. Hi, baby. Hi. Say hi. There's Joe, and there's Chiku, and there's Jeff, and there's Bijo, and there's Chris. I'll go lay down. I'll be right in, okay? Go ahead, I'll be right in. And Yanina says hi.
Hi.
Franco wrecks the ballista in a good faith show for Gozray. We make him some barrels. We get him some stuff so that he can make more cheese. He wakes up early with Even and we eat and hope don't get poisoned by the cheese we eat when we eat to put out the overly spicy stew. We find out that Gozray spoke to him and tells him that, yeah, we gotta go. And he finally acquiesces and takes us out. Dax tells him about the leaf cloaks and what they're doing and advises him to hurt them. We go to the ship. We take Polyphemus to Dino Island in a rare fit of interest. Squirrel and Franco test their harness design on Polyphemus, and we make great time. So Squirrel, for the first time, is interested in what we're doing. Dax gets Akalita to change his feet back in exchange for prank tips and smoke sticks. We take 2 easy days to Savres. We leave Polyphemus there. He's sad but excited. He even pulls him aside before he leaves and says, "Do not fight the leaf cloaks. You run if you see them. Just run." Polyphemus understands. He tentacles up the wall. Per Joe. And then Franco waves and belts out a very loud mating call, which we think will summon some dinos to him soon. We head to Khloros on calm seas. It's a crescent-shaped island. We go to the top center of the crescent, move to higher ground. We find weird fruit and thick jungle, and then we find parroting plant people. We glean that they fought other meat people and drove them off. They talk about how we stink and we're meat. And it's unclear if the people they fought were leaf cloaks. We don't think so because they start to be interested in Even's leaf cloak. We understand we're here to confer with Riza Zuis. They don't quite believe us, but they do agree to take us to Garfinque, who's going to know what to do with us. And that was where we ended.
Sounds right to me. Anybody else remember anything or anything special to your characters that you want to call out?
I guess if I remember correctly, when we were going from the Dino Island to the Plant Island, the seas and weather and everything was like finally cooperating with us consistently, right?
Yes.
That was the thing. Okay.
Yes. The weather was very nice, and the wind was always seems cooperative and good. Okay. Anything else? G Pain, anything you remember from the last session? Anything you remember last time you played? I think you're muted still somehow.
Yeah, I'm muted. I was saying, oh God, I remember nothing. I think the last time I was there, you guys were taking over the town.
Hair witch.
Really?
I think the hair witch.
Really?
No, I was in the cave. I fought in the cave.
You were.
Yeah, it was the hair witch.
Yeah,
100%.
Okay, there you go. All right. So it's not been too long. You didn't miss a whole heck of a bunch, but not a whole lot.
No.
So yeah, this cave is now done, and you guys were sailing around, and I was on this Leonis Stews map. Let me reactivate that for everybody. So you went to Khloros, and as Naz just recapped, you all were walking around when you heard the leaves around you moving. You're moving through this thick jungle of Khloros, the green of new growth. And you essentially heard that, and then I think Franco, you speak Sylvan among other things, right? Or did you use your ring to
No, it was I before we got on the island, like that day he chose the plant language.
Yeah,
Sylvan,
correct. So yeah, you heard some stuff moving around. Everybody got quiet and listened, and then Franco was able to actually hear them conversing in Sylvan, talking about the meat folk moving around, and engage them in conversation. And after a brief chat, some diplomacy checks, everybody they kind of calm down and are going to take you to Garfinque. And like Naz says, they kind of are parroting each other. They repeat the same for their phrases over and over again, and they don't seem all that intelligent. But they have not surrounded you, but they kind of, some of them came out of the jungle, and as you've negotiated with them and agreed to go, several more have come out from the jungle, and you see about 6 of them of different shapes and sizes now, not surrounding you, but trying to make sure you don't run away. They're trying to guide you forward. And G-Pain, so you were not with them for most of that because you were just so distracted by this island here. So you were kind of falling behind, stunned at all these interesting plants and things around you.
G-Pain comes wandering out of the forest from where the guys are setting up and walks through the crowd. And it's like, oh, hey guys, and rejoins the party.
And you see several plant humanoids. You see several plant-like.
I kind of push them out the way too if they're in the way.
So are you not shocked or weirded out by them? You just walk past them?
No, he walks past.
I mean, he carries a giant demon bush with him.
Yeah,
basically,
it's true.
I feel like this isn't anything that weird.
So you see about 3 of these guys. They're wearing like pine cone armor and primarily covered in leaves.
Nice.
You see a couple of these guys. They're smaller. Look kind of like a mistletoe bush or something like that.
Yeah.
You see those, and you see one guy. Oh, that's not the right one. Glad I can show that. You see one guy like this with these he has like fly traps for hands and very spiky areas of his body, and he has been watching you with these red, like pupilless eyes silently. He hasn't said a thing, but his eyes have basically been locked on Franco, who is speaking Sylvan to the rest of the group. So these are the 3 types of Leshys that are. They have spears kind of gently aimed at you.
Do I notice he's looking at me?
So when you walk past them, you said you bump into them, is what you said, yes?
Like I walk from their perimeter, so basically I've penetrated through their perimeter, and so they're probably creating.
Yeah, so basically
range.
one of the Leaf guys was talking to them, and after they agreed that, okay, we're going to take you to Garfinque, some of them started scattering around in a circle, not like aggressively, but they have their spears out, and they're just kind of make sure that like they're going to guide you, northwest or whatever.
Yeah, so I pushed through the crowd. I pushed them apart a little bit.
So when you do that, the Leaf Leshies, they just seem surprised to see you do this, and the Flytrap Leshy turns his attention to you from Franco as you walk past. And Gimbolo is with you?
Yeah, he's like.
And Gimbolo is medium, not large, right?
No, no, but his reach is large.
Okay. So he's like tall, we'll go with. And all of these things are small. They're not like tiny. They're like, smaller than halflings. They're smaller than you guys, but they are statistically small. So Gimbolo walking through them is also like he's medium. He's bigger than all of you because you're all small goblins. So as you do that, you can see that they seem shocked by you, and the Flytrap looks at you kind of, with an angry face. But Gimbolo walks by, and they are stunned, and they begin chattering. He's like, "What is that? What is that? That one's big. That one's big. What are those berries? How many berries? Feel the colors, the colors, the colors, the berries, the colors." And the red one is just staring at Gimbolo silently, and then back to you.
If I notice he's staring at me, and if I know enough about nature to know a plant greeting, I would like to do a classic plant hello in Sylvan.
Okay, well, you can make a nature check, or if you have any lore skills related to plants, you can use that.
Goblin lore botany.
You have what do you mean goblin lore botany? You just mean you mean
I took botany. I took the ancestral feat of goblin lore, and I studied botany.
You can pick any lore. Fair enough. Okay, you are a botanist.
You just make it up, yeah.
That's how lore works.
In the lore section, they give you suggestions.
I like how they did it. It's wishy-washy. You say like, yeah, like Franco has theater lore, and it gets applied in a bunch of ways. So yeah, go ahead and make a botany check if you like, a botany lore check or nature.
Oh, 12. Okay. Hold on. Can I add a plus whatever after the fact?
No, hero points only let you re-roll, and you only have the 1 until you earn it. He said, starting the timer.
I would like to re-roll it.
Okay, you can use a hero point.
I only rolled a 3, so let's go.
You can only...
come strong. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I hero pointed the haircut the first time. So
yes.
Look how it's done for you so far.
That's wonders.
Okay, so yeah, you are aware of typical Sylvan greetings. You are aware that these are Leshys. They are like plant-like creatures of average to low intelligence, primarily, at least the ones you're encountering right now. And do you have any specific questions about them, or you were just looking for a greeting to do?
At this time, because I'm just walking in, just for a greeting.
Yeah, okay, so you know all the proper honorifics and things you would do when ingratiating yourself to plant people. So you have a pretty good idea. You'll have a bonus on your diplomacy check if you want to make an impression on them. Are you being commanding and intimidating, or are you being nice?
I think he's being commanding. That's why he's pushing them through.
Okay, so are you straight up intimidating, or are you just trying to?
No. So having presence.
Got it. Okay, sure. So what do you say, and and then you can roll your diplomacy check.
So I say hello and hello friends, and then I say, what's everyone doing here? What's the plan here? Why the spears? Lower the spears. And he starts shrugging his shoulders, and he's like, lower the spears.
Okay, and go give me a diplomacy check. And as you shrug...
I have no more hero points.
As you shrug your shoulders, you and Gimbolo, you do move kind of in tandem. People who are paying attention, it says specifically, kind of notice that you are moving in such a way that you are bound in some fashion. So the flyleaf one has been staring at you intently, watching both of you back and forth. And as you shrug your shoulders, he watches very subtly as Gimbolo also shrugs his shoulders, and his eyes snap shut. And then you embarrass yourself diplomatically. So you know what to say, and you think you're saying all the right things, but you're just tripping over yourself, and you're just being so like direct, and you're not doing anything the tree way, even though you seem to know what you're talking about. So the other one's saying, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What do you mean? What are we here?" And they begin grabbing their spears. One of them says, "Get your spear! Get your spear! Get the spears!" And the flyleaf one is just like looks like he's hissing in anger, just sitting there watching you two.
He hasn't been off the boat with us in a while. He's with us. It's fine. We're looking forward to seeing, what was the person's name? Something with a G.
Garfinque.
Garfinque. Yeah.
And you hear in the back, they want to see Garfinque. Garfinque. Yeah, we said Garfinque. Garfinque, right? We take him to Garfinque. He said we take him to Garfinque. They want to go to Garfinque. And
G-Pan leads into Franco's like, man, what is it? What'd you guys get into?
We're, trying to find I'm blanking on all the names. The demigod or whatever in the middle of the island. Riza Sui. Yeah, we came here to see her and make sure she's doing okay. It seems like we're gonna have to go through Garfinque to do that, so we're going to Garfinque.
All right, man. I'm here. I'm ready.
Riza Zuis means the root of life in the ancient common-like language. And she is a plant demigod, allegedly. So as you're doing this, G-Pain, and fumbling your diplomacy check, so the flyleaf one looks at you, flyleaf, whatever, what are they called? Not flyleaf. Flytrap? Leshy? Flytrap. He looks at you, and he speaks very quietly to a Leshy next to him. So everybody, I'll ask for a perception check. I'll just smash the button here.
Oh, yeah. I think Gimbolo gets one too, right?
Yeah, he does. That he do. So go ahead and mash the button if you
Gimbolo's a god. Freaking god.
That's real good, actually. So, yeah, so Mendax, Puck, Even, and Gimbolo, you all hear him talking in Sylvan, and only Gimbolo understands it, I think.
G-Pain, yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad. So, Gimbolo, he can converse with you telepathically, though, G-Pain, so G-Pain will also know what is being said.
I know everything.
The flyleaf one, I keep saying flyleaf. Flytrap one is whispering to one of the leaf people next to him, and he says that one is bound, and he's gesturing towards Gimbolo subtly. And he's gesturing, like, and as you're moving around, like the subtle things that you do and Gimbolo also does, you can see that the guy, like, he nods, like, look, see that? That one is bound, and he's kind of just keeps his eye on you. He's never leaving you're never leaving his sight.
I will whisper to the goblin closest to me, which is Puck on the map.
All right.
And I will say they have eyes for Gimbolo.
We'll kind of just look at you quizzically, I think, from that.
Keep an eye on him. Into the scissors.
Can you not simply dismiss him?
I can dismiss him, but I don't trust people who have eyes for my... And Gimbolo slides into him.
Puck just kind of nods.
Are you speaking loudly enough than any of the other goblins here?
Yeah, if we're walking in a circle or whatever, like a little pack, yeah.
Franco would, if he hears this, would say that. Yeah, so Franco would say back in Goblin, no, it's good that they're watching him. Why don't you show them how well you treat Gimbolo?
Okay.
So they begin again. They begin to fan out.
Okay,
sorry.
He is our MVP after all, right?
He has been.
You see that 28? We all see that 28 there, right?
It's true. Mendex tied him, but he is in the top tier. So yeah, they begin to fan out, and again, are basically kind of with the spears, not aggressively, but they are very much like holding a line, and they're forming around you to kind of force you together in a pocket, like you were talking about, and then they want to guide you westwardly. Anybody stopping or protesting? Okay.
Only if they get friendly with the spears.
So you head on your way westerly, and they are leading. There are 2 leafy people in the front. There are a leafy person and a 2 vine people in the middle, and behind you, never looking away, is the Flytrap person. And they are leading you west.
Joe, can I ask you 2 rules questions real quick?
Sure.
One, if I gave Gimbolo 10 intelligence or +0, does it change anything about his own intelligence, like from our role-playing perspective, or is he still just a blob of something?
I don't know the answer to that question. I will look into it, but is he not intelligence, but he's a 9 now?
He has an 8,
I
which
mean,
is a -1.
an 8 is still above animal intelligence, I think. Like, he can understand language, so I mean, he's intelligent.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
And then
are
my second
you trying to give him
question-
like free will and stuff? I think at that point he's not a eidolon anymore.
Yeah, kind of. I was thinking about it. The second question is about a spell. If it has target you, like each time you hit a creature, does it count when Gimbolo hits?
Each time you hit a creature?
Yeah, so it's cast it upon yourself. But does it
I would say no,
transmit?
unless, like, tell me what the spell is, or run it by Nas if you don't want me to know for some reason. I don't
No,
think,
of course.
I don't think the eidolon hitting counts as you hitting, but I'd need an example, I guess.
Okay, the spell is Flame Wisps.
Okay.
The description is actually pretty much there. Each time you hit a creature with a strike, one of the wisps goes hurtling towards the creature, dealing 1d4 fire damage. If you cast a spell with the fire trait on it while you have fewer than 3, a new wisp appears.
Okay. And can you cast spells on your eidolon that are you only? Is that a summoner ability?
I thought it was.
Because
Checking.
if that is, then you should put it on. You should be able to cast it on him. Figure that out.
I thought I saw it somewhere. Okay, if that's good, then I'll let you know.
Yeah, because if it's on you, I don't think it counts when he hits. But if you can cast your spells on him, I think that's probably that would work. But okay. So you guys are walking along, and they're guiding you, and they're not getting too friendly with the spears. You can tell that they're not like military trained. They're not professional guards, and especially the little ones, the vine ones that basically look like tiny little like berry bushes. They're very inconsequential, and you even believes he could snap these things in half without thinking about it. Along the way, one of the berry people comes closer to Gimbolo, and you notice G-Pain. Do you care?
No, I like if Gimbolo looks at me, then I shoot him and I say, "Go, have fun."
Okay. So this one, he does stand his spear up, so he's no longer pointing it at Gimbolo as he walks over, and he reaches up for one of the gimbal berries on Gimbolo.
No, I'm sure Gimbolo says that's my body. No means no.
That's personal space. Okay, yeah, so he was reaching
I-
out.
if
And
I- If I shove him and I'm like, why?
I never seen one like that. And you hear behind him, never.
Can you eat these?
Shakes his head. I don't know. What is it?
So then I join up with Gimbolo because now I'm talking. And he says they're gimbal berries. They can do anything. They can make
Gimbleberries?
clothes.
Gimbleberry? Berries?
Gimbal berries. They make clothes. They make anything. They make cars. Oh, he doesn't say cars. they make all sorts of wacky things. I got red ones, blue ones, purple ones, green ones.
Says, you grow big.
One's as big as your head.
One's as big as your head.
He looks up at Gimbolo and says, you grow big.
Plant grows big.
Can Gimbolo talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Gimbolo talking or is G-Pain talking?
They both are.
Okay. At the same time? Oh, that's
the
creepy.
same time.
Good. Really push that whole bound thing. That's good.
I'm into that.
So he seems a little creeped out by the fact that you're both talking in unison. But yeah, he can't make a whole lot of sense of it.
He says he's a plant. I am a goblin. He is a goblin. I am a plant. And it just symbols to them.
And he looks at back and forth confused. He says, "You are plant? Plant? He's a plant. It's like, no, he stinks of meat. He stinks of meat.
There are different types of plants all over the world. Here you are in this forest, but there's many forests and hills and mountains and oceans.
Meat plants? No meat plants.
T-Pain just shrugged. All right, man. Well, here it is. So
And you all be no meat plants, no meat stink, no.
and G-Pain nods and lets Gimbolo go back to playing with them.
Yeah, so
I'll let them take it. I'll let them take Gimbal berries at this point.
oh well, he will. Yeah, he'll pluck one if you let him.
I'll hand it to him. I don't let him pluck.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's-
Yeah, so he looks at it. He's not going to eat it because you said it does all sorts of things. He's unsure about it. But he takes it in his hand and he brings it over. He kind of runs over and he shows it to the others who are more distracted from it than they should be. Like, for people escorting people through a forest with spears, they are far too distracted about this berry they just got from you. And, like, 3 of them are talking about it near the back of the line. But the Flytrap one is still very much at attention.
Okay. I'll be back real quick because I'm going to keep going.
Sure. All right. So you walk a little bit further. Anybody doing anything else along the way?
Even is
I think-
absolutely going ham. Oh, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I was just gonna say, even is absolutely going ham on the fruit from the trees. Like, if there's a lapse in security, he's the guy who the fly trap is like, hey, and he's climbing up a tree, getting a fruit, and then coming back, eating a fruit.
Hey, give me a survival check to see how you forage. And yes, he definitely is. He shouts as you run off. And at the first couple times you do it, he actually gets concerned and watches. But you run over, get your plant, and you kind of just shoot him a glance to let him know, like, hey, I wasn't going anywhere, and if I were, you weren't going to do anything about it anyway. And yeah, so you critically succeed. So you're finding crap tons of fruit, and with enough to feed like a bunch of people apparently with your abilities. And you also notice that there are no animals here on this island. There are insects around, but you were like, as you're picking up food, you kind of realize after being here for about almost a full day, I think at this point, that there are no animals. There are no birds. There are no tiny little mammals running around. There are no snakes, just bugs.
How do you keep the birds away?
Hmm? One of the little leaf guys looks up next to you. Hmm?
The birds. How do you keep them away?
We kill them. They don't come back.
And even looks completely unconcerned, nods, and then takes a big bite out of a piece of fruit.
Okay. Yeah, and they continue marshaling you along to the west. You were saying to say something, Franco?
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 quick things. So one, just in general, I think Franco would be trying to track anything that's kind of any like unique looking trees or just like landmarks, in case the party needs to traverse back the same way they came. To just as best he can, trying to kind of remember key things to look out for in the way back.
Okay. Give me a private GM roll survival check to see how well you do.
Sure.
And I'll note it for later. If
Yeah.
if it becomes relevant, it'll be fun. Thank you. Okay.
And then this is more of a GP thing, but I'll just mention quickly that while he's having the discussion with the Leshys about Gimbolo and the Gimbleberries and stuff, Franco would kind of bring up like, hey, if you plant them in just the right way, they could have those kinds of bushes here, couldn't they? And basically kind of like suggestive of if you bring us where we want to go and it goes well, like maybe we can leave you with something like this if G-Pain goes for it.
Okay. I'll have to run that by him. But he has definitely been a proponent of planting. Oh, he's back. Hey, Shirag. I have that same name on it. I had that same one.
It looks kind of creepy over the like.
Na-na-na-na.
Do you want to reiterate what you were saying to G-Pain?
Yeah, so in the discussion that G-Pain's having with the Leshys, at some point Franco would kind of subtly come in and be like, if you plant those in just the right way, we could potentially leave them with gimbleberry bushes on this island, couldn't we? Maybe if things go well here, if they bring us where we need to go and everything's smooth, we could, that could be in the works for them.
G-Bane nods furiously. The more we plant, the better.
And obviously, like saying that in Sylvan so that they hear it and understand what he's suggesting.
And they seem very excited about it. You hear them kind of echoing, "Oh, like we could plant them. We could grow that. We could grow one. We could have those ourselves." And they're all looking. They're huge. Like again, Gimbolo is huge compared to them. And they seem excited by that. They could have these here.
He will freely offer them. And then G-Bane speaks to... I'll speak to the leader who's staring me down.
Okay.
I will try my hand again. And I will say, if we sit down together, we can pick gimbleberries best for your area.
Okay. You can give me another diplomacy check. He is very
Go
not.
on.
He's very not happy with you.
Let's be best friends. Hey, we're best friends.
You've
We're
made him
best friends.
slightly less unhappy with you. But he.
Can I try to aid in like the negotiation that we were doing?
Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead. You can. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure.
Pretty much all my. Would this be make an impression? Because
This
pretty much
is
all
make an
that
impression.
is-
This is correct. You were aiding and
Okay.
making
This
an
is
impression.
This is performance
Yes,
based.
performance, and it's going to be another +2 because of those things that we
Correct.
couldn't incorporate in this.
Correct. And if you succeed, you give him a +1. If you crit succeed, you give him a +2. Unless you're like super good at this. What's your what's your training or whatever? How trained are you in performance?
Expert.
Expert. Let me see. I forget.
And you get random bonuses, right, from feats?
Just the. It's from
Oh, you
items.
rolled it. You
actually.
rolled it secretly. You rolled a 22.
Yeah, that's my
good.
bad. Yeah.
That's good. You rolled a 22. But I wanted to see the aid action. Success, you get a +1. If it's a critical success, then you get a +2, or if you're a master. Okay, so you only get a +2. All right, so you gave him a +2. He has a 19. That doesn't change the number.
Didn't I have something else from making the earlier impression?
Sorry?
Didn't I get another bonus from the earlier greeting or something?
Well,
Was that-
you critically failed the last make an
Yeah.
impression. So you made them all like you less, and now you're back to the beginning where he was
Alright.
staring everyone down.
Everything's fine.
Just let Gimbolo do the talking, man.
So you try to talk again to the Flytrap person, and he looks back to you, and he says, "I don't trust meat. Meat is treacherous. Meat consumes. Meat destroys."
He just kind of like puckers and says, "You have much to learn."
He turns to
have- we-
Even, who is greedily biting fruit.
We all have much to learn.
And he just
But consumption is important for balance. Otherwise, there's overgrowth.
and you rolled well on your diplomacy check. So yeah, so he nods to you. You can tell that he doesn't like you, but he nods in assent to what you've said. There is wisdom in your words. And he looks back to G-Pain and says, "Meat cares not for us. We care not for it."
I care for us,
Mm.
for you.
And he looks again at Gimbolo, who just again subtly is doing the same thing. Even when you talk, even when he's not talking, his mouth moves very like vaguely a little bit, like he's mumbling your words you're saying, and he can tell that he's not happy with the arrangement you two have at the moment.
Hey, you have a problem with this?
He nods.
I nod and say, "I did at first. I am meat. Do you think I want to be a plant?"
You're not.
And
You're no plant. And he's talking slightly in longer sentences than the other jabbering ones around.
And he just said, "I got used to it, and now I realize its strength.
Mm.
Maybe you will too."
He doesn't seem. He seems unmoved by your argument. But he doesn't. He hates you a little less.
Cheers to you.
All right, so he takes you a little further, and you begin to see stones that look like they were at one point part of some sort of like totem pole. They are sprawled on the ground.
Do I recognize anything about them?
Yeah, you can use
that one of those?
Yeah, religion is a good one. You can tell these are weathered and seem like they're very old, but both Puck and Franco believe these are druidic in nature. They're not
Do
specific.
they look like? Do they look like they were recently strewn, or is it like is there growth over them that suggests that they've been strewn for a while?
There is growth over them, implying that they've been strewn for a while.
Okay.
How recently have these been strewn?
Make a strewn check. I need to Struth. So the plant people are paying this no mind and continue to walk past them. Does anybody stop or do anything interesting?
Just
Feel
kind
like
of take
you
note.
should.
Touch it.
Alright. They continue leading you westwardly. Make your notes.
You know what? Actually, here. I'm
What?
sorry.
What?
Let's we'll hit one of those.
What?
To beep beep beep.
Oh, a detect magic.
Ain't magic in them there rocks.
There is no magic in them there rocks. There is not. You get a little closer to cast a spell. It's like, what is it, 30 feet? Yeah, it's actually not that far. Not
Yeah,
really.
30 feet.
Yeah. So you just see that they do look like the heads of animals were stacked on top of each other, and then they seem to have like fallen over and like sprawled a bit, and then some overgrowth has overtaken them. But they are non-magical.
Any reaction from the plant people to doing arcane mumbo jumbo?
Let's see if any of them notice you with your arcane mumbo jumbo. Where is my dice roller? Did that mod get disabled? Oh god, it did. Okay. I upgraded and had a little bit of a nightmare, so I'm in second. Alright. No, none of
that
them
was a
seem
good
to have noticed you. The Flytrap is
Alright.
busy staring down Gimbolo and G-Pain, and the other ones are off doing whatever the hell plant things they're doing. No one notices as you loudly speak a spell. Wait, is there a verbal component?
There is a verbal component.
Yeah, so you again have to speak in a clear voice to cast a spell, and somehow no one really noticed you. They heard you talking, they just assumed you were talking goblin. And no one noticed as you cast a spell and detected no magic on the totem pole. So he leads you further along until you get to some more big rocks. And I will activate a new map. Ba-boomba. And I will do this. Okay. So, you guys all good? Loaded?
Cool, Leshy too.
Yep, that's very fast.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. Yeah, so you can see the Leshys. There's the vine Leshys are the berry-looking ones. The leaf Leshys were the ones that have the pine cone armor. The Flytrap Leshy's in the back. It looks a little weird because they didn't have a good token for that. But they are all walking, and this is how they've been talking to you. And again, they're really excited. Some of the ones in the back. There's also another leaf Leshy. It's like, I can't copy. It's not the GM. It was actually like this. That's what it was like. Okay. So yeah, these three back here kind of are really excited about the berry they got from you guys. But they take them here, take you here, and one of the leash Leshys just cries out, "Garfinque!" And they go, "Garfinque, Garfinque, 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 Garfinque." And then out of one of the bushes over here comes Garfinque. And I will show you a picture of Garfinque.
He's a sunflower?
He is a sunflower.
Oh, look at him.
Nice.
So he waddles out, and he only has like the one leg. So like you watch as he's kind of like walking like he has his legs tied together, kind of just writhing through the dirt in front of you. And he's got these glowing yellow eyes and these bright yellow eyebrows that come up around his big like mane-like petals around his head. He comes over, says, "What is the meaning of this?" in the fullest sentence you've heard since the island.
Who's in front? Even.
Is he's speaking to us?
He's
Or is
speaking in
Squirrel?
general. So he says, "What is the meaning of this?" and then looks around for everybody.
Is he speaking Sylvan?
Yes, he is speaking Sylvan. That is correct. Good call. Anybody going to interrupt before a Leshy jumps in, or are you going to let the Leshies take the lead?
No, let them.
I have no idea what
There's-
anyone's saying.
Franco would be yeah. I mean, Franco would be more curious to see how the Leshys represented the situation.
Okay.
Franco, are you and I the only ones who speak Sylvan?
Well,
Right
you
now.
speak Sylvan.
Yeah.
Franco used the ring that
Okay.
that gives us ability to speak different the wearer ability to speak different languages to choose Sylvan today. So temporarily, yes.
Okay.
So one of the Leshies in front that did a lot of the talking walks up to Garfinque and presents you. Says and he kind of misrepresents the situation in saying that we captured these meat. I said captured behind there's questions and assertions. Captured. We captured these meat. They came to the island. We don't know why. They say they want to see Riza Zuis. And Garfinque looks at you curiously.
We've come to ensure the safety of Riza Suis.
Safety? What threatens Riza Zuis? And here, threatens? Mama, threatens? Mama?
You mentioned that there were other meat people who came here recently,
Yes.
and they wore the leaf, and he kind of describes the getup of the druids that they saw previously.
And he says, yes, and he begins raising a bit as if angered, and as you say leaf, some of the Leshies behind you, the vine Leshies, they begin pointing at even leaf, they have leaves, they're green, they have leaves, leaf. And Garfinque moves forward to look and sees even wearing the cloak. And Garfinque looks to the other Leshies and says, fools, they wear the cloak of the killers, you bring them here? And the killers, the cloak of, and they all begin looking.
We killed one of the killers.
We stole this.
You killed the killers. Killer can be killed. Kill the killers. Kill.
Yes, those other meat people who came were here to harm Marisa Suis. We are here to make sure that they can't do that. Just as we almost did when we killed the meat person that Evans, whose cloak Evans wearing.
How did you kill the killers?
And Franco will kind of smile and point at his weapon, and then point it towards Evans' mouth and gestures around. We fought them as you do to killers.
Where did you kill the killers?
Are you familiar with the other islands?
He shakes his head. What other islands?
Can you read maps if I show you?
He nods, but looks visibly unsure of himself.
Untrained.
So that's basically, Franco, do you mind if I approach?
He looks extremely cautious, and he nods, and the leaf Leshy kind of escorts you over to him.
So Franco will take out the map, cautiously, slowly, so, just to make sure he still feels comfortable, and then we'll point to the island and say, well, I guess at this point we've fought them in a few different places, but we'll point to the island where we fought the Dino Island, and specifically to the top of the mountain on that island, and say we went up there trying to save Prometheus. Is that the guy's name?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Prometheus. We were unfortunately a little too late, but we did encounter the killers and managed to fell several of them. Others getting away. Clearly, they must have made their way here next, as we did, expecting that.
And he's studying you intently the whole time as you're explaining it, and you're being completely truthful. So he's trying to assess if you're lying, and you're not. And let me make a roll to see how he assesses you, because he could just be wrong and think you're lying. Yeah, he looks at the map and he hears your whole story, and he shakes his head. He says, I don't believe you. Why did you come here? Why did you come back?
back? We haven't been here before.
He looks behind you at the other Leshys. He says, "Why did you bring him here?" And he looks again towards Even with the cloak. And the Leshys, here, bring him. Why? He's leave. He's green. He's leave.
I think you're misunderstanding, my friend. You're emperor or whatever plant title these guys normally
He's just
take.
Garfinque.
I think you're misunderstanding it. We mean well.
If we came here to do harm would be being done right now.
But you seek Riza Suis.
Yes.
You know not how
Because-
to find her.
Yes, that's true.
Maybe you wish to do harm to her, as you claim the others would.
I mean, I'm glad you're suspicious. What can we do to show you that we're not? We've seen too many gods and demigods recently felled, and we don't want to see that happen again.
It says, "First, remove the cloak of our brothers. Remove that cloak the killers wear."
Even's continually eating fruit and
Even, and he starts motioning like his hand down from the fruit. They want you to take that thing off.
take what thing off?
That cloak.
Why?
It will help them feel not as suspicious. They know that's the cloak of the killers.
It's my trophy. Do I get to keep it still?
They've only asked you to take it off.
Alright.
I won't
Just
let
takes
them.
it off, stuffs it in his pack.
I won't let them take it.
When you go to take it off, you realize you cannot.
Oh.
And as
Let me
you
help
do,
you
you
with
remember
that.
that the warmness you felt when it first came on that was protecting you from the cold? You feel along the lining, it turns like red hot and begins to feel like it's fusing to your skin.
Does anyone know?
I can't. Continues eating fruit.
It's like they watch you struggle with it for a bit, and again, that you can smell the cooking of his back. And again, some of them begin to go, ugh, the stench, because now you're rotting cooking meat. Or not rotting, but you're cooking meat. Ugh, no. He stinks worse now.
What's going on, guys?
And
And
Even very unconcerned walks over to the water and just starts splashing water onto himself.
Garfinque
you
seems
can-
horrified that you have done that. And he walks up to try to slap you away from the water. He walks up and he tries to use one of his petals to kind of smack you away from it, smack your hand away from it as you're slapping it up.
Okay. So
G-Bane will walk in because this could get mistranslated. He speaks in Sylvan and says, "Please, your emperor, my friend is just trying to help himself. He can't take it off. There's something wrong with it."
These are sacred waters.
Okay, do you have regular water?
Yes, there are rivers and such. Yes.
Uh,
He looks at this white goblin with the cloak of the killers lapping up the holy water in front of him.
why
And he
are
says,
these?
"This is heresy. This is anathema."
Does G-Pain know with knowledge nature what waters these are?
It just looks like water to you.
Okay, he says, "I'm so sorry. We didn't know they were sacred. There was no sign or indication."
He
We
gestures
just got
broadly
rid
to
of
the
our
ruins
god
around
curse,
you.
guys.
Even's completely unperturbed and just starts pouring his canteen on where he's singeing.
May I ask why these are sacred?
They have been blessed before our time.
By the god.
And he gestures around to like the ruins around you. This was once a sacred place. It was once more than this. But he looks.
G-Pain,
Okay.
G-Pain like motions over Franco because I'm sure he's not there, and it's just like, "Hey, I need some help here. These are sacred," and he's tossing it all over his head.
He's still in the process of doing that?
No, I
He's
think he
not.
stopped. I think he stopped.
Oh.
But if we didn't stop him, he'd keep going.
I'm gonna request a perception check.
Do we had a letter from Kirky, right? To
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it would be time to present that to Garfinque.
While you're doing that, everybody but Puck and G-Pain. Gimbolo again with the 29. He's always at the top of the pack, or at least close.
You even nailed it.
But yeah, everybody but G-Pain and Puck, you hear is rustling in the bushes, and you get the impression that there are many more Leshys in the bushes around this place. And then, so you mentioned you want to do something with the cookie note?
Yeah. So Franco would be like, I almost forgot. We were on an island with another, because Kirky's a demigod, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we were on an island with another demigod, with whom we, formed a close relationship. Who sent us here, knowing that, killers were going to be coming to help, and sent a note specifically to rejoins here, and he hands it over. You can see for yourself.
He picks it up, and he can read. So he reads the note. I've heard the name. Why would she send you here? What does she wish of Rejoins?
It's more, at this point, all of the demigods are concerned, understandably. Kirky has seen us be effective, and knowing that Rejoins is a target, if we're able to intercept the killers, then that's to all demigods' benefit.
Then you would set a trap?
Yeah, or just, if they come, go straight at them. We're not really that concerned about them. We've already done battle with some of them, and some managed to escape, but the ones that fought us didn't.
And he looks back at you, G-Pain, and Even, who is pouring water on the cape he seemingly refuses to take off. He says, why won't he take it off?
I think it's cursed. It's fused to him.
He looks offended that you would call it curse. That is woven from the leaves of our fallen.
Beautiful as it is, but maybe a curse was added after the fact, defiled by the killers.
They are known to defile. And he
They
looks
are
back
defilers.
at he looks back at the Flytrap, who nods and says, if you hate the killers, as you say you do, if you hate them as much as we do, then you must prove it. You seek
Any day.
You seek to cleanse their blight?
We are cleansers.
And he looks back at their Flytrap and says, Oscoos! And the Flytrap stands at attention. He says, you will take them through the, where did I write that down? You will take them through the blighted lands in the east, through the twisted growth, and help them find the source of the blight. They're talking as if, like, they're just like assigning you a task. What do you think about that?
He nods and said, this one, and points at Puck, is especially good at finding blight.
Oh, he looks at you, Puck, curiously.
Look deep into his eyes.
Do you say anything, or you just speak
Puck,
with you?
Puck, say
Puck
hello.
does not understand anything anyone's saying, so he just kind of cocks his head as everybody turns to look at him.
Yeah, the sunflower again, his yellow eyes just staring
Yeah.
deeply into you.
G-Pain says, Puck, say hello in the voice, the whir.
Puck's just kind of looks at you and his eyes flash for a moment. He does not
See?
acknowledge your command.
See what I mean?
He nods, confused, but yes, he nods. He says, if you will do as you say, if you cleanse this jungle of this blight, then will meet Rejoins. And he
Sounds fair.
turns back to Even and the cloak, and you can tell he's disgusted by the fact that the cloak is what it is.
Removing this blight, do we expect it to weaken them?
He shrugs. I know not. They visit the tree occasionally. We fight them off. It is hard for us to exist near the blight. We believe they use it for something, but when they venture back into the jungles, we fight them. We fight them all back.
How often do they come?
Shakes his head. It's been months, but somewhat regular. We can't go near we can't move through the blight. We know not.
Do you know? Do you know of their leader?
She said no.
Even
Oh, I see.
Elbows Gimbolo.
Sorry?
Even Elbows Gimbolo. What is going on?
Gimbolo can talk, right?
Yeah. If you want to roleplay him, or I can. He just says mission, negotiation.
That's all he said.
And he says, and he picks at your cloak, which is pulling your skin.
It's now fused to his skin. Yes.
He's not very. He can tell Even's a little tough, so he pulls the skin. And says, "They have a problem with this being stuck on you," or however I can communicate that.
Okay. So, as you're talking, this whole area is similar to that toppled totem pole you see before. There's lots of remnants of toppled stone ruins here. There's no obvious structures, like there wasn't like a gazebo or a mausoleum or a building or anything like that. You just see like henges, totem pole-like towers, a collapsed archway up there, these hexagon-shaped flagstones, and just random collapsed stone. And with those perception checks that I rolled before, you also see among a bunch of that stuff, there are druidic symbols on these as well. There are lots of things carved in the shapes of animals, and also lots of curved typed designs that you saw reminiscent of the tattoos on some of the druids you had fought before.
So this used to be their place, maybe?
So the plants murdered them.
Yeah, I know.
They've made an army of little plant people that rebelled against them and their stinking meat.
Franco would make his way towards Puck and describe the mission, and then would basically say something like, for removing blight, this blight that they describe, do we think having some of the holy water would be a good resource?
Perhaps. Fire also cleanses blight.
I have brought fire.
Mendax would like to take a look at Even and ask him if I can check at the cloak and make a medicine check and see if it's medicinally removable.
Sure.
If he lets me.
Sure. We still haven't identified it. I keep mentioning it every few
Yeah.
sessions, and then we never identify it.
You failed initially, but you're right. We haven't. We've been.
What knowledge do you need to like learn about it? Nature.
I believe it's Arcana. I'll let you use Nature too. I'll let you use Arcana or Nature. Because there's like a
Okay, the
natural thing there.
Could Gimbolo understand that?
How fused is it to his body?
Extremely fused to his body.
Has it linked some kind of like tendrils have driven themselves into his back? Is that
How
what
invasive are you getting here?
I'll give it a tug.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, no hit points damage or up to 1 hit point of damage to try to figure out how, if there's anything I can maybe trim or cut that might possibly help. And if it doesn't look,
Yeah, so you do the pull, and you can tell it seems as though it's melted in, like the flesh around it is like red and like bubbling, as if it kind of like buried itself and melted the skin on top of it.
so is it like part of the cloak has fused with his back?
Yes, and you
Okay.
can, even if you take your dagger and you poke at it a little
Well,
bit.
if I know, if I can see it's pretty well fused in there, a little cut's not going to make anything if it needs to be it.
How deeply fused? Like past the dermis, like to the bone?
He can't tell, but again, he gives it a pull, and it feels like it's rooted deeper under the skin, and it's not just like a surface.
If large
level.
amounts of the skin lift up when I pull the cloak, then that's probably not a good idea.
Correct.
G-Pain says cut into it. Even? I don't know, man. That's not good enough.
And you're making nature checks to identify this item.
G-Pain actually pulled it off this time.
G-Pain and Pucker are pretty high
Lucky.
there. I have to look at something now because I don't know the move for this. I should have looked this up before.
Are there 2 cloaks in the party or just 1 cloak? Oh, there's 3 cloaks?
There are
I'm
3
not
cloaks,
Who
but,
else has- Who else has a
despite the fact that I asked several times, even the only one who put one on.
I put one of the regular warm weather gear on. I ended up not choosing
Correct.
the cloak.
Good thing I had that dino suit.
Yeah, so neither of you know. Yeah, neither of you know. Does the 25 do it?
Can they conference with each other and help each other?
I'll go with yes. I'll go with G-Pain and Puck together do have a high enough. If yes, if they go together. 26.
We have it.
So yeah.
We story.
So as you're studying this, G-Pain and Puck, you're going back and forth on the kind of magical cloaks you've heard of in nature, and you like there are like there's an elven cloak that makes you extra stealthy, and that seems like what this would be, but it's not. There's something wrong with it. This is somehow cursed. And once Puck knows that, between that and G-Pain helping him, and just his little wavy hand of the auras on it, he can tell that this cloak has auras of transmutation magic in it, and he gets the sense that there is something poisonous about this cloak. That this is somehow fused with a poison.
I do know one way we could remove the cloak.
Oh?
We took off dead people, so that's... If they're dead, you can remove it.
We should kill him and resurrect him. What you're saying.
That's not my area.
Let's do the first part and worry about the second part later. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably safer to kill him first.
Don't plan the whole thing out first. Just kind of go with the flow.
And my alarm went off, so G-Pain, take a hero point for being you. Welcome back.
Hooray! Wow. Thank you. I needed that. Maybe I wasted the other one.
Okay. So you guys are now aware that Even has some sort of a poison cloak on him that he cannot remove.
We obviously don't know the poison.
No, that hasn't come up yet. But there's something wrong with this cloak, and you have 2 more of them that no one's put on.
Yeah, Puck will just
Well,
relay that. Like, this is,
Don't put them.
this
So,
is not good.
On that note, right now, I had totally blanked on that, but on that note, realizing that Franco would maybe confer with the goblins in Goblin and say, maybe as a gesture of goodwill, hand the other 2 over to them to do what they want with it. We don't want them anymore.
Puck
If
nods.
they're cursed, yeah.
Or destroy them.
Oh, but all that money we were going to sell it for at the local market.
Hero point.
So Franco would sort of nod when Puck suggests burning them, but would say, I think they would appreciate it doing it even more than we would.
Agreed.
Puck nods and says this: if they've truly twisted the land as they've twisted other things.
If they fought the other ones, tell them about the ones we killed. About the dwarf and the fire gnome and the eagle lady man.
Yeah, I feel like they were all pretty distinctive, right?
So yeah, I guess Franco would reach out for the other 2, and if the party hands them to him, he would just turn back to, I guess, Garfinque and say, before we head out, we actually have 2 more of these. Good thing nobody put them on. Maybe on the way we can describe the killers who we felled and took these from.
And as you take the other cloaks out, the Leshys all around you like, more leaves, they have more leaves, more cloaks of the killers, they have cloaks of the killers, 2 more cloaks, lots of leaves. And you hand them over to Garfinque, and he seems as surprised as they do to have 2 more of them, and you're freely giving them up. So your story is slightly more believable now. And he says, this gesture is appreciated. And he looks at them and he takes them and puts them down next to the water.
Good question, Joe. The 3 cloaks came from the 3 creatures that were on top of the by Prometheus.
No, one was in the what's the majestic elephant?
Majestic flying lizard giraffe.
It was in that one's mouth.
Okay.
And 2
And
were
then
from
the other 2 were the 2 we
2
killed.
on the top,
Okay.
and 1 got away on the top. That was where he was wearing a leafy cloak. The elf. But yes. Okay. Yeah. So you offer those up, and he accepts them warmly, and is a little happier now. Yeah, he's definitely more amenable to what's going on, but he still is insistent that you go do this. If you want to meet Riza Zuis, you will do this for us.
Yeah, and Franco reiterates that they will, and like let's get into more detail about the ones that we already felled and sort of just confer with each other about if you've seen them before and which others you see. Just kind of like, we were gonna have some. I assume we're gonna have some time on our hands while we're getting to where we need to go. Let's talk tactics a bit.
Yeah. Puck will also mention the correlation between the symbology on their tattoos and the ruins here.
When Puck brings that up, Garfinque, well, is someone's translating for Puck? Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was just talking to Franco to have him tell whenever he talks, some talking points to ask them about, right?
Okay. Assuming Franco feeds that along, Garfinque will agree that the symbols all on this they're definitely theirs. So this was once their place before we removed them. And he looks towards Gimbolo, and he speaks in Sylvan. He says, "There is power here. You feel it, yes?" And he gestures towards the water and invites Gimbolo to put his roots into it.
Gimbolo bows and says thank you. And he'll toss some roots in. He'll probe like an elephant with one and see if it's okay. And if it's okay, not corrosive.
I'll slip another one of those in there while I'm conversing with somebody.
As you
Good
do
idea.
it, let's see.
He lumbers over.
This time, Garfinque is aware of you doing it. The others, Garfinque and the Flytrap are both aware of you doing it. But Gimbolo goes over there and does his thing. Puts his foot in. And Puck, it is magical. The Flytrap Leshy comes up behind you and puts his hand on your shoulder after you finish. So you get the spell, you can tell that the water is magical, and puts his hand on your shoulder and says nothing.
Puck will just kind of, I guess, turn and look. Does he continue to say nothing?
He continues to say nothing, but he looks at Garfinque, who's looking back, and he nods, and he doesn't say anything, but the thing takes his hand off your shoulder. There was some sort of look or communication.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
And Gimbolo puts his foot in, and he gets, or his root in, I should say, and he gets a bit of a rush. And Gimbolo, for a little bit of time, is going to have basically a +1 striking hand wrap effect on him. He has a Shillelagh spell cast on him, basically.
If it's like sugar water to him, he then dives all roots in. As many as he can go. As many as he's allowed.
And Garfinque chuckles a bit, seeing Gimbolo so excited about this, because these Leshys know of the power of the water. This seems like it's novel to him, and Garfinque thinks that he should experience it. So he'll, even though this is a bit of not sacrilegious, it is a bit uncouth to be splashing around in a holy water fountain. He watches you like a child, basically.
G-Bane says, "I'm sorry. I hope he's not offending your customs."
This is new to him. This is, and you can see, I guess he doesn't have a mouth. I was gonna say he smiles, but looking at his art, he doesn't actually have a mouth. But he smiles. I'm gonna say that he smiles. In his eyes, he smizes.
He smizes.
Tyra Banks would say. He smizes.
He says, "Yeah, we don't see this much where I'm from. It's either the ocean or the ocean."
Okay, so yeah, so he allows Gimbolo to slosh around. And did I forget anything else? Jeff, were you waiting on something, or am I misremembering? Okay.
No, just it was more like as we go, we're gonna.
Okay.
And we don't have we just need
Yeah.
to waive it, but we'll tell them about the ones we
So-
encountered and ask them about the ones they encountered, so on and so forth.
Puck will also turn to Franco and confirm that there is magic in the water, and that it may help cleanse the blight if they will allow us to take some.
Okay. So, Franco would relay that and say, you know, I hope you don't mind this question, but in our experience, cleansing, having blessed waters or things like it can be helpful. Would you mind if we took a vial of this? I think it could potentially help with our cleansing procedure when we get to the blight lands, as I think you called them.
He nods and he looks at the water that Gimbolo is crawling out of, and he agrees to allow that. So I'll drag a vial of holy water onto the common loot. Anybody can take it off there. It's there now.
Yeah. That feels like a Puck thing.
Agreed.
I'll put it with my hair collection.
Of course. So yeah, so
My god souvenirs.
all my divine items, related things. But yeah, so they're ready to head off, and they begin taking you towards the east.
Can we grab a pee break at this time?
Yeah, you want to do a bio break right now? We can do that, sure. So, see you guys back in like 5 minutes. guys are leaving the ruins. Anything you guys want to do before you leave?
I feel good. I've
Okay.
I've found all their magic stuff. I've pilfered their holy water.
Okay. So yeah, Garfinque is willing to lead you towards the east, and it's very similar. In fact, Garfinque's in front. I'm basically going to reverse, so I'm just going to go like this. Garfinque's in front, and there are Leshys on either side of you, and the Flytrap Leshy stays about 10 feet behind everybody at any given time, and is just mostly focused on Gimbolo and G-Pain.
That guy creeps me out. Does he creep you out?
Who are you talking to? Someone next to you?
Yeah, who's next to me there?
Anybody will answer you.
He's speaking Goblin, I presume.
Yes. Yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Anybody
Which
say
one?
anything about that to any of the plant people?
Which one creeps you out?
I don't like the red one.
Uh,
Okay, he doesn't like us either.
who cares?
Puck nods in agreement to this.
Not the leader.
Okay. And does anybody mention that to any of the plant people?
We don't like that one.
I think that one
yeah,
goes.
no.
No, I feel like that's best left internal, maybe.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so
I would like to play with. I would like to play with a coin and see if any of the plant creatures are drawn to me playing with it. I go use a silver coin.
okay.
Just kind of make it roll it around my hand, make it disappear. Then after a little bit, make it reappear.
Was that sleight of hand or whatever? Thievery
Just sliding
in this
hand,
game?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just
That's
see if they're
card.
distracted or entertained at all.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, it's not called sleight of hand. What's it called?
Thievery, I think. I think sleight of hand is probably like an action under
Thank
thievery.
you,
is how
correct.
They do things these days.
Woohoo!
Yeah, you do an excellent job of your little non-magical presentation with the coin. And
Just trying to entertain them and make them more friendly towards us.
yeah, so
Make
even
them
taking
point
the coin
make them
out,
point the spirit even and not me.
Fair enough. Even just taking the shiny coin out draws some attention because it's like it shines through the sun. You're walking under like a kind of a dense canopy, but every once in a while there'll be like a beam of light coming through, and the coin is catching it, and it's definitely getting the attention of the younger, simpler Leshys. And you're doing cool little tricks, and they seem interested in you. But they barely talk, and they jabber and stuff like that, but they don't approach you about it. But yeah, they do seem a little happy, a little more interested in you. So as you're walking, Franco, I think you've kind of taken the point, because G-Pain's kind of embarrassed himself a bit. So Garfinque asked you and Sylvan, what do you wish of Riza Suis? Why have you come to seek her?
It's not her specifically. There's been a string of god and demigod killings on these islands, and we've had enough. We've come to put a stop to it.
And you think they will come back now for her?
They've been to most of the other islands. This is one of the ones that, well, clearly they haven't succeeded yet. So it's one of a few targets they could have. So we've come to try to snuff them out if they do come here.
They killed us. We fought them, but they never came for Riza Suis. They fought for here. They fought for, and he gestures back to the ruins you've left. He gestures to the jungle, but they've never come for Riza Suis.
Do they know where she is?
He shrugs and shakes his head, unsure.
So you don't know if they've come for her or not.
Perhaps. And he walks on, and the flytrap continues staring. And what else happens?
And we can hand wave at Joe, but basically, like, at the end of that conversation, Franco will start describing the ones that they killed before and just be like, let's get a little bit to the details, and we'll talk about, the gnome and the dwarf, and are these the kinds of killers you see too? And but just like kind of ask him about details about the ones that they've encountered and fought off.
Any specific details jump out in your mind that you'd bring up, or just general things about the ones you fought?
Yeah, I mean, the gnome that had the what was it, like a cigar or something that was fiery, and the dwarf that drank a lot, as they do. Big, he described like big, thinks he's tough kind of guy. And then one that takes the form of an eagle.
This is Joe asking, not Garfinque. Do you remember anything else about the gnome specifically?
The clicking and
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So if you bring up the clicking, if you bring up the
absolutely.
then,
Like
his eyes grow wide. His yellow eyes grow wide, and you say the Firebringer, and she shakes his head though. Not a gnome. No. And he does the same sort of thing, and you're surprised he can do it with his like leafy hands, but he does the same. Not a gnome.
Okay, this is Jeff now. Am I misremembering?
No,
Or it
you're
wasn't?
not. It was a gnome.
It looked like a gnome. I thought it was a
Okay.
gnome.
So, yeah, Franco would be very confused and would say, the one that we saw, short like gnome, it was a female. It was to me unmistakably a gnome. What did the one you saw look like?
He describes human, but he does describe he was smoking. It's a man. He describes it. He was smoking. He had red eyes, which is true of the gnome you saw as well. And whenever he cast fire magic, whenever he burned us, he would do this.
Is he the only one you saw like that, or were there others that did that same gesture?
He was the only one of the killers who could do that.
Any check I can make to, like, at this point, Jeff, am thinking maybe some sort of shapeshifter, but any check Franco could make to
You
decipher
can
what
make
the
a
hell's
nature
going on
check.
with that? Okay. And obviously, Franco would relay this information to the rest of the crew, just in case anybody else has any ideas.
That's a good one.
I was gonna help you, but
Yeah,
you don't need help. Maybe I'll just help you see if we can ace it.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Maybe that'll
Do you
come
want
to
to
class.
Do you want to whiteboard this with him? It sucked. But Gimbolo is the champion.
Yeah, but Franco rolled a 26. Yeah, no one was able to help him, but that's good enough. So Franco, you have heard stories of druids being able to reincarnate people into new bodies.
And as part of, again, this is more Jeff asking them, but as part of the reincarnation process, is this one of those where they can control the form or can't control the form that they come back in?
Cannot control.
Typically, cannot control. That would make more sense. So Franco would kind of be thinking about it and maybe come to that realization and say, reincarnation maybe? Came back as a gnome? Does it seem possible to you?
He nods and says, stranger things have happened, yes. Possibly.
So Franco will kind of rub his brow and be like, well, that's quite unfortunate if true.
Why?
There could be a whole group of them that are finger snapping fire casters.
When he says why, just be like, well, I mean, there's a chance those don't remain as snuffed out as we
Did
anticipate.
they kill the fire? Did the plant people kill the fire caster when they were there?
Yeah, that's a good question, I guess.
Yes.
As far as you know, okay.
Garfinque says we had slain him.
I guess I wouldn't have been overhearing that really.
Fair enough.
Well, I mean, Franco's relaying details about what he's finding, especially that one. So yeah, like, well, I guess we'll have to be on guard for something like it again.
Let's find the source of the power.
Puck, is there a way to, when a creature dies, to capture or destroy a soul? Through spells or something?
Joe.
Use the soul right after it dies? as part of
yes, at a very high level.
That feels
yes.
like definitely something that,
Not at lower level type.
I'll be right back. My stomach is having a problem right now, but I'll be back. You guys keep talking.
I'm sorry.
I feel like that question is going to lead us into Hell's Vengeance.
But I know paladins. What is the one? What's the one they do that? Yeah, the Hell Vengeance thing you guys do. Anti-paladin spell where you death
Eats the
knell.
soul or something? Yeah,
Does death knell destroy souls?
No. You
It
use
just
their death
uses
to
it.
fuel you, but it doesn't do anything to their soul.
Doesn't
So you
destroy the
took
soul.
until
Okay.
now to figure this out.
What?
So you took until now to figure this out. So this is probably even getting bent. Even would be very bent out of shape about this. That like I killed this person and now I'm going to have to kill them again because you couldn't remember when we were on the mountaintop that people do these things.
High level people do these things. I didn't know we're dealing with. Oh, I was hoping we weren't dealing with that many high level people. Now we got to come up with a solution.
we are mere goblins. We never thought there were people coming back to life.
Puck, you got any of those spells where you can send the soul off to the Netherverse?
Valhalla.
Send it to the other side, sacrifice it to the hair.
Not been shown this magic yet.
Everybody think how we can stop that from happening. What we need to do.
Not kill them and capture them? I know it's a terrible thought at the moment. I mean, if they're not
Unusual.
dead, we can use them for whatever, but
Kill them and eat them. Kill them and feed them to something. Kill them and burn them. Kill them and
all those things, but still, the soul, once
Drop
the
them into
soul's
the
set
ocean?
free, the soul does whatever it needs to. They can then re-access the soul, but if they don't have access to the soul, or the soul's not freed from the former body,
What about this holy water? Does that do something?
I feel like that's
I guess the question is like, what needs to remain for them to resurrect it?
Yeah,
I don't think they
feel
need
like there's
anything.
not This is reincarnation, right? This
Nothing
is
is
not
needed.
resurrection, right? So,
Yeah.
I thought you needed one body part. Is that
the
Pathfinder?
soul goes into whatever the astral plane.
reincarnate
They
just pulls the
probably
soul
just
from where it
suck
was.
Into,
Yep. Yep, exactly.
So we're back basically to the capture but don't kill idea.
At the moment, that's the only
Yeah.
solution I can think of.
Yeah.
That'd be something.
can we? Well,
Just
we should
cut their arms and legs off. And,
we should figure out if we can kill them. Joe, we've all been discussing in character about how
In character,
Frank-
worth 0 points.
Franco took until now
Yeah.
to figure this out. That's great that we had these dead people and you figure out now that they can come back to life.
Yes, yes, that's wonderful to
so-
figure out in character.
So
That's a
basically
powerful
we
thing.
were all brainstorming about like what do we do to make sure they stay dead. So I don't know that any of us knows, but we're basically brainstorming like what do we do? Do we eat them? Do we burn them? Do we sink them in the sea? Do we
Well,
Um,
Franco rolled especially well, so he understands the reincarnate ritual, or at least the stories of it, and he does believe that you can do it with any piece of the fallen, slain body that was taken after the death. So if you have a body on the floor and you burn every piece of it, you cannot reincarnate that person. But if even one hair
oh shit!
or one fingernail is absconded by a druid who might look like a rat at that moment, all of a sudden that person can come back to life.
Fair.
So eating seems like a good solution.
Eating seems viable as long as, nothing survives the process. You could argue if what you crap out is technically part of the body. I go with no,
More part of my body than his body at that point.
but...
Yeah, some nail in there though. I don't know how well that thing's gonna digest.
We were talking about the correct honorifics before. We're talking about binding souls, and now we're talking about Dern void stomaching people. Like this is turning into Hell's Vengeance.
Even-
We just feed it to even now. It's real
Yeah,
simple.
even
Even
he's
Yeah,
gotta
all
start.
games converge to soul eating.
Okay. That's true. Well,
Did we do anything with the bodies at the top of the mountain? I don't remember now.
We sure didn't.
Majestic
We
Flying
looted up
Lizard
that
Giraffe Cave.
That's right. We did drag him down there.
Anyway,
thing. I'm sure Eagle Douche has already long since come back and
yeah, if they were going to.
Scooped up little fingers and took off.
yeah, exactly. Oh man, we screwed the pooch on that.
Oh well. We now
Well,
know.
at least we know their tricks.
Well, let's continue. Let's continue our path of finding stuff after the fact, and let's go up to the mountain and make sure that fingers have been taken.
Does this that fool us once?
Well, I want to say
Burn
something. Let's talk on
everything.
Discord.
Did they have any reaction when Franco described the dwarf?
No, they didn't seem to care at all about the dwarf, but Garfinque, the gnome, the fire bringer, was someone that seems to terrify him. You can imagine that plant people versus a fire mage is not a situation that's great
Sure.
for plant people.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't warm my heart much either. That guy was tough.
Okay. So they continue leading you on towards the east, and you've already been here for almost, yeah, I feel like it's nighttime now. You need to rest one more day before getting there. So when the sun sets, they begin moving much slower. They don't seem to be indicating that they want to take a rest. They're just moving slower. So are you gonna ask them to stop, or are you gonna keep going?
I don't need to be walking into the blight tired.
Yeah.
The blight will keep.
Especially if we know how far away we are and that it's
Yeah, how far is it?
Yeah.
How much further?
He says another 3 or 4 hours at this pace. And he looks at you as if you guys are slowing them down, moving through this thick overgrowth.
It says it's late. Maybe we should all break bread.
Is there a safe area?
He tilts his head at you. Break bread?
Figure of speech. Find a safe area. We can share food and stories and how we kill the killers. That kind of thing.
Food? He seems confused, but we don't have to go back and forth. but yes, he agrees that if you need to rest, he will help you rest. So
He said much like I told General, and I forgot his name, but you said it once.
Oscoos?
Oscoos, just like I told General Oscoos, there's much to learn about each other.
Okay.
Let's spend some time.
Okay. Yeah, so they'll make a camp with you, and we don't even need to roll survival. Nothing's gonna happen at night, but you can make camp. And yeah, nothing happens at night. You want to do or say anything at the camp, or any preparations you want to go before the sun rises and you set out for?
I just want to aid the party in increasing the friendliness of the people to us.
Oh, by the way, I had to steal 10 pieces out of the common party loot to do my hand tricks. I had no money on me.
Bleeding loudly fun.
So I got to keep some gold, silver pieces to entertain the troops as they were.
Does he even know what Oscoos is?
He is a Flytrap Leshy. You can make a nature check to see what you know about them. But he has like visible fly traps on him, and he's Leshy. But do you have any specific questions, or just generally what they're about?
Just what he eats, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Not meat.
Like might eat bugs. They might not be considering bugs meat. 22. Yeah, so you are aware that he does consume things. He does consume insects.
Okay, so when even forages on the way, he'll be foraging like big ass beetles and stuff like that. Like he'll come back with termites and beetles and things.
Lion King level bugs.
Yeah, and you already rolled enough survival checks today that you're overflowing in food. So yeah, if you're looking for bugs, there are bugs, and you can find some juicy ones. Like
Okay,
flying
so he'll come back with like grubs and whatever and that sort of thing.
slimy yet satisfying.
Sounds like Even has a new best friend in here. Just keep feeding him bugs. 2 warriors of kin now.
Okay. So yeah, the night passes. You guys talk more about the killers. They seem very, at least Garfinque seems very interested in how you killed the killers, and the other Leshys are basically whatever Garfinque is interested in, they're interested in, and they parrot your story as you're telling it. Like they take some of your keywords and begin, the cloak, on the mountain, blah blah blah, and they just keep going back and forth. And the sun begins to rise, and the Leshys are now back at full speed, and you're all refreshed. I don't think anybody used any abilities, but if you did, take them back. And we are off.
Do we get fresh hero point for the day, or is that per session?
Per session, not per day. Alright. But you say that when I have 1 minute and 30 seconds left on my clock. We took 2 breaks because of my incident, but yes, we'll have another hero point going into the next situation, I guess. So you guys keep going, and over the course of the night, the Flytrap Leshy has, again, he's not talking. He's barely saying anything. He's basically just paying attention. And Garfinque gets the idea that some of you are a little, not afraid of him, but weirded out by him. Like, you haven't said it out loud, but it's become obvious enough through your actions over the course of many hours staying together, that Garfinque takes it upon himself to talk to you, G-Bang. And he says, Garfinque doesn't trust me. I don't think he's ever going to trust me.
I understand that, and I wouldn't either if all this of what happened to you happened to me.
He says, Oscoos is old enough to remember the battles with the Defilers. How many of us died before we ran them off the islands, before we destroyed their places of power. Many of the jabbering Leshys you see here are too young to remember such things and just do not know. I remember a time before the Defilers. I remember that not all meat is bad.
And he says, well, what can we do to change his mind? Because we're here. We're not all bad.
I know, and I hope. And he looks over to Even, who again was just grabbing fruit in his face with a leaf cloak on his back. And he likes this. I hope. I hope you prove us right. Prove this right.
T-Pain says, the problem is misunderstanding more than anything. He didn't know that the water was holy or that the skin would be seared to him. And I didn't know I would love plants, but here we are.
Here we are. He nods as everybody else is getting ready and good to set out. Anything else?
Even is straight up during the night or during the day whenever there's Oscoos time. He's just like, hey, you want to get in on this?
He is initially hesitant, but you have scoured some good bugs. You've got some good grub.
So yeah, he just basically tells him to help him. Like he's got a jar or something, and is just like, yeah, just help yourself.
Are you eating them as well?
Yeah. Of course, but yes.
I was pretty sure. I just wanted to explicitly have it stated on record. Okay, yeah. So toss me a diplomacy check. I can give you a bonus because you're doing something nice for him. Well, the bonus means you didn't offend him, so yeah. So he will reluctantly eat with you, but you get the feeling that he doesn't seem to be warming up at all.
Yeah, no worries.
Yep. Okay. So you continue on, and we start different music. So you begin walking, and again, it's this dense, overgrown jungle with a very thick canopy where only just beams of light every once in a while are coming through. And as you begin getting further and further, after a couple hours, after starting marching for the day, that seems a bit loud, you see that it feels even darker somehow. There are fewer beams of light coming through, but somehow, strangely, the things around you the vegetation around you begins to look visibly diminished. You see things that are not completely dying, G-Pain, but they're yellowed, dried, wilting, as if they were barely subsisting here. This is in stark contrast to the fact that everything else seemed like super vibrant. Like all the trees were really, really strong, really thick roots. This is like a verdant paradise for plants. But this area that they're leading you into, you watch as the things begin to look more and more wilted and sick.
T-Pain says this is not, the Gimbleberries do not like this area.
And Garfinque turns to you and nods, and you see that his leaves, his branches are already turning yellow. He begins to yellow even as he stands here with you.
I understand now. I think we understand.
And they turn to Gimbolo, and Gimbolo seems to have shown no signs of this. All of the Leshys around you watch as their leaves are just turning yellow being here.
He says, we have a special bond, of course. What normally would affect him doesn't.
How? And You watch as the Flytrap Leshy behind you, Oscoos, he's tilting his head as if he's listening to now what Garfinque asks how.
Sometimes primal magic mixes with arcane magic, mixes with transmutation.
You're talking over his head. He seems to not understand, but he is impressed. Needless, they soldier on a bit, and Garfinque is as he's walking, he begins going a bit slower, and he says, "It's not right here. This is the taint. This is the defiling."
Joe, is this blight anything like the sort of twisted vegetation on the Witch Island?
Perception checks. I'll do it. That's the button. Billy. I don't know why Gimbolo's is like blank. Can you roll that G-Pain, or is this blank for you? Okay, it works. Oh, because he's on a PC is what he is. Got it. Okay. Great question, even.
Yahtzee.
And
I think.
did you? No,
Yes,
you
I
did.
did.
Yeah. Okay. So even since you asked the question, I will answer you first, even though people did roll better than you. You do see it after a bit longer, like after you see the yellowing. You do see that the plants here are growing unnaturally. You see stems and leaves are bending at odd angles. And Puck, you notice that there is, Mendax, you notice that there are patterns intrinsic to nature, like, the way that leaves have fractal patterns and stuff in them. They are missing entirely or wrong. You see completely flat leaves. You see leaves with these weird, like, spider patterns and things like that. It's just things are not making sense naturally. And Puck, you're walking through the jungle, and you see a wilted branch that is oddly pliant and blowing in the wind.
I will poke it.
As you approach it, when you get within like 5 feet, you are certain without a doubt that this wilted branch is actually hair growing out of a tree.
Ooh.
Dun dun dun.
Damn it!
It's always the hair, dude.
All right. Let me. Do I feel anything upon this realization? Is this
No, you have no
repulsive
immediate
in the
reaction.
same
It is
way?
startling to see hair growing out of a tree, but other than that, you don't have any other insights or feelings.
Puck will cut a lock of the tree hair.
You touch it, nothing happens. It is inert and feels lifeless in your hands. And you take a snippet of the tree hair. Alright.
Puck will sprinkle a drop of the holy water onto the tree hair. Let's see if there's any kind of reaction.
There is. The hair sizzles under the holy water.
He kind of nods and puts it away.
Alright.
Hey, Franco.
Yeah.
Do they have witches here? Do they dream? Do they have those weird spiders here? Could that be?
Franco.
It looks like that island.
Yeah. Franco agrees and relays the question.
Do they know Mervos?
They say they I'm like, I don't know if they dream. I'm gonna go with no. Like they do not dream. They do not know what witches are. They don't have witches here. And then what was your other question?
Do they know Mervos?
They do not know Mervos, no.
Okay. No gray skin people running around.
No.
Okay.
But this is strangely like their island. Again, the jungle has kind of changed now, and the way things are growing, it does look more and more like that island. It's even getting darker, like that island was kind of under like a haze. It is even getting darker in this area of the jungle.
Miasma.
Yes, a nice miasma.
how large does this? I mean, I know we're just coming on the like up to the initial edge of it. I'm assuming we're just crossing over. Like how large is this affected area from what we can see?
Um.
Like, does it stretch like beyond our line of sight and still tainted, or is this contained
Yes,
somehow?
like so basically now that you've entered into it and walked a little bit further in, like you are surrounded by taint. It's not like you're in like a small like 100-foot area that's taint. There is a large swath of land that appears to be affected. And they are guiding you through it, and after walking through it for maybe an hour, Puck found this hair.
Okay.
Okay.
Franco, are they sick?
Like, is he saying, do the plants feel sick right now? Is that the question?
Yeah, they look sick.
Frankel will
They
check
look
in
like
with them.
neglected herbs.
So are you saying the live plants or like the plants in the
No,
like,
the people, they
allies.
look like neglected herbs.
hmm.
Send them back. I can do no more here.
Yeah, so basically at this, Franco will sort of check in with them and say, you know, it seems like this is getting rough for you guys. Do you want to kind of just let us know where to go? These, you know, tainted areas, there's usually a source. Do you guys know, is this emanating from somewhere? Was there a place that this started?
Garfinque looks over a bunch of the younger Leshys and agrees with Evan's assessment that they are not long for the world if we remain here. They need to be taken home, and that he should be the one to shepherd them to make sure they make it. Okay, what was your question? Sorry.
Basically, like, usually there's a source in these defiled lands. Like, was there a place that this started? Is there a place that the killers, like a specific area in this that they try to come back to all the time? Like, just help us know where to go.
Yes, he says yes. There is a tree they first started their corruption in. It is another. She's trying to estimate your time. Another hour, 2 hours east from where we are. You will find it.
This tree, by any chance, is it gnarled?
Shakes his head. No, it is but a stump last I saw it.
What kind of tree?
Large, dark, mahogany-colored tree. Why?
Was it always a stump?
No, it was once a grand tree, 100 feet high. They did something to it.
And then this began.
Yes, it crawled slowly at first, but gets larger every day.
This will help us find it.
Let's go wrap a god hair on it.
So Franco will nod and say, we'll make our way to it. Is there anything else we need to know?
He shakes his head and says, we've never been able to get near it. And he gestures to the fact that his body is visibly wilting in front of you. Says, we know nothing of the magics there.
We'll learn. We'll learn what we can and tell you. Sorry, go ahead, Puck.
Yeah, Puck will turn to Franco and say their water should cleanse this place.
Hopefully, we'll see.
GP, can Gimbolo sense the direction of the blight? Can he feel anything of the blight as a plant?
Fantastic question. Joe?
Yes, you can. It definitely feels, for Gimbolo, worse in front of him. So, although he seems unaffected by this weird decaying that's happening to the plants, he definitely feels like he feels physically drier being here, just unaffected by it. And as he steps in this direction, it's getting more and more dry, and he does have this intuitive sense of it's vaguely in this direction. It's not like a magnet, but whatever, a compass, but he has a vague idea.
He tells me yes.
Well, let's follow Gimbolo and send them on their way before they wilt. They look like crap.
They do. Some of their leaves are even falling off as they stand here debating it with you. And but Garfinque, he gets the younger ones to go, and he brings them all and says, we will wait for you at the ruins where you found us. But
G-Pain jumps in and says, before we go, wait. Do you have a blessing for Gimbolo for us?
He looks at Gimbolo. And do I have any cool spells for you? That's a wonderful question.
Give me spells.
Let me look at this one. Oh, yes, even though I did it secretly, it did a little art on him. Nope, that's not really good. Is this self only? Touch. No, yeah, he will cast a spell on you, Gimbolo. So Garfinque will walk up to you, the champion of your people, and he will cast Barkskin on you, Gimbolo.
Oh, dope.
You can go ahead and you should just be able to drag that onto his token, and it should do magic. You can just drag.
Duration
little...
10 minutes. Ooh, that was cool.
Oh, does it only last 10 minutes? That's unfortunate.
It's about a mile out, so we got to do a 6-minute mile. Maybe a mile, double time. Double time.
We'll say that plant magic. He can make that affect the next encounter because it's silly to. I don't have anything longer than that. So,
I appreciate it.
Okay. So as you guys get moved to go away, Oscoos, the Flytrap Leshy, objects, and he says, "I will not be returning with you, Garfinque." Not return. He's not coming. Why is he not coming? Garfinque. Garfinque asks him why not. He says, "I do not trust the meat. I will see that they do as they say." He says, "But the blight, you risk your life for this." And Oscoos again says nothing, confirming. Garfinque says, "I will not stop you. I will see to the young ones." And he looks at you, G-Pain. Are you going to be taking care of Oscoos?
G-Pain looks puzzled and is like, sure, but you know that we don't need you on this. We'll be fine.
I need to be here. I need to see.
He nods and says, "I understand." And G-Pain turns to the party and says, "This one's mission is to come with us, to see it through."
Huck, do you think the holy water you have will heal him if we need to? You want to run a little test, put a little dab, and see if it grains him up any?
Sure.
G-Pain
Puck, he should just know, right? So Puck just kind of holds up the vial and, turns to Franco and says, "Will this help him?"
Oscoos seems to think so. Yeah.
Do you have more of this before we go?
He shakes his head. Gimbolo drank all of it.
That could be an answer, sir.
You notice Gimbolo's not having any problems, right?
Yeah.
Chugged a whole bunch. Okay, well, my friend, come along, and this is all you got.
He nods grimly, and you guys go on.
Let's go hit some stuff.
So are you giving him some of the water?
No, just later if he needs it and it's dying out.
If he needs his fix later.
When he's dying. When he's dying.
You can lord it over him later when you need him to do something. All right.
So, Joe, sorry, this is Jeff talking now. When he was described, he was the only one in this entire group who was here when the defiling happened. Is that what the other guy said?
Garfinque is even older than that, but yes.
Okay.
Of all the Leshys you spoke to, only Garfinque and the Flytrap were here when the killers did their killings.
Right.
And they were both here when meat bags were nice.
No. Well, Garfinque says he remembers.
Garfinque
remembers that all meat is not evil, and the Flytrap Leshy either doesn't remember or no longer believes that, based on what he's seen.
Okay.
He thinks all meat consumes and destroys. And you guys continue on. You march for another 2 hours, and the whole while everything I've described is getting more and more intense. Like the bends of branches make absolutely no natural sense. They're curling in on each other, they're gnarling like the trees you've seen before. Nothing makes any sense here. Fruit that is growing, that even is looking around and picking, some of it just, you open it and it's rotten. Like it looks like perfectly edible, and you open it and it's somehow like festering from the inside. It's just wrong and disgusting. And it continues to feel more and more like the swamp on the Hag Leona's island. It's not as humid or dank, but it's feeling more and more. You're getting all the same vibes walking through the forest. The branches and leaves are all looking the same, and you're getting irked. And Pampa continues. Oh, so Pampa. Sorry, apologies.
Yes.
The other sentient tree creature that happens to be Sherlock's friend, Gimbolo. He's leading you in a direction. Again, you can kind of tell when you're straying off the path a little bit. He moves as if like he can sense the dryness increasing. And within the last hour, Puck, you have an icy chill run down your hair and spine. And every once in a while, because Puck has a cantrip that basically determines north, so I just kind of hand wave that every, like, not every 6 seconds, but like, you know, once every 10 minutes or whatever, he casts this sense direction and his hair jumps up and points north. So as you're walking, that time comes and, you know, you wave your hand around and your hair jumps up to point north, and all of a sudden this icy chill goes down your spine. And the hair is no longer going north. Like, you have a pretty good idea which way is north, because you do it every so often, and all of a sudden it's pointing exactly away from where you are walking.
So Puck appears visibly disturbed and starts muttering about how this place is wrong.
What's happening?
The way is not the way.
Are we lost? Are we here?
Just kind of shakes his head.
T-Pain looks around.
Continues muttering.
He looks around. Are we here? There's something wrong about this.
Even is eating some of the rotten fruit and is like, oh, but continues eating it. And it says to Puck, just use the god hair. Make it point the way. Let's finish this. Ugh. Ugh.
Hero point.
Yeah, you know what? Have one, because the alarm did go off. Yeah, so you can have it. That's true.
For eating rotten fruit.
Yeah, for eating rotten fruit. So are you
Sure.
continuing to follow the way Gimbolo is going? That is the antipode of the hair?
Is there a god hair? Is that a thing? I didn't know.
Well, Chris has a hair that he believes is God's race, that he waves on things occasionally.
Pseudoscience. Let's do it.
This is not. No, this is for the hair holy water. Their Leshy water. I'm almost certain the Leshy water is the answer here. But I think we need to put it on the problem tree.
Agreed. We'll keep following Gimbolo if it looks like he's still making sense.
He believes he's right. He believes he has the right answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we followed the tree.
I guess also critically, is Oscoos looking worse for the wear as we're moving along as well?
Oh, yes. As you go on another 2 hours, he definitely looks like he's withering away. His whole body is yellow. Some of it's even brown, and several of his leaves have fallen off. But he is stoically taking it and not complaining about it.
He's size small.
Sorry.
He
is size small. Yes, that's correct.
I invite him to jump on Gimbolo if he wants.
Diplomacy check that.
Aided by Gimbolo's good looks.
Gimbolo looks nice. He is a handsome young bush. Gimbolo is eating. Yeah, okay, so Gimbolo looks very inviting, and as much as it pains him to do so, yeah, he will take you up on your offer. So he will climb up the back of Gimbolo and rest as he is dragged on. But you can tell he doesn't look happy about it, but he does thank you. He bows to you and bows to Gimbolo and climbs up his back. Alright. And you guys continue on until you see all of the desiccated, dying plants are all around. You have this big canopy above you, but you can tell it's all like wilted and almost looks like it's going to collapse at any moment. And you come upon a little raised section of earth with a massive dark brown stump of a tree that raises 8 feet up above this raised patch of earth. The main trunk itself is about 20 feet across, with roots sprawling in all directions for a long way, 5 to 10 feet wide in some places. The dark brown wood is strangely out of place in this jungle, even accounting for all the other anomalies you observe with all of the different flora in the area. This stump is dotted with sharp spines and faintly purple knots? No, eyes. And go on to a new map. What did I just do? That didn't work. Right. Go on to a new map, everybody! Hooray!
Cool.
So you see a big brown tree. Go here just real quick. Alright.
Puck looks skeptically at his tiny vial of holy water. Said that,
okay. Yeah, so you're approaching this big tree. What would you like to do about it?
Can we see that corpse that I can see?
Yes, you can.
Corpse
So
of halfling?
even from where you are, you can see that there is a humanoid corpse, a small humanoid corpse, wrapped in a log. So I know that this looks weird because I put it on there. There's actually a corpse on the map itself that I was hiding because it's like a skeleton. I don't want it to be there. There is a non-skeleton, like fleshed corpse that is gnarled in a root at the base of this tree.
G-Pain tapped, I forgot his name, man. It's a tough one.
Oscoos?
Oscoos, yes, Oscoos. And he says, I think we're here. Look.
Oscoos does look, and he nods very feebly. You can tell that he is basically completely dried out.
G-Pain shakes.
Let's give him a little sip.
Water,
like
we'll just burn it.
If I need, yeah.
And
Is that
even
what-
is actively yawning as he says, "Give him the water, and we'll just burn it."
Is that what you did last time?
Yeah, pretty much.
Conveniently.
But the ritual had not been performed on the tree itself. The tree was just like a ancillary and some kind of source of weird druidic power.
Correct.
This is like the tree is the problem.
Okay.
Yes, that is a fair assessment. They were using that tree as some sort of ritual site, but everything they detected, there was definitely magic in the tree, and the tree was twisted somehow, but it wasn't like the source of any magic. This tree is mutated in a way that tree is not. Like even from here, you can see spines, and you see these glowing. They're red on the map, but imagine they're purple. They're like little purple knots all over that kind of look like eyes.
So noting the body that's, I guess, speared by, is that what it looks like basically? It's like speared by a
No,
root
it's
or
actually
something?
it's wrapped around. You don't see any like puncture marks. You just see it's a dead body, like it's been like almost like hugged and gnarled like this.
I think Franco would look around to see if there's any, like, basically, exposed root that's from that tree that's a little poking out of the ground somewhere. And wherever he sees it would stick his rapier into it and see what happens.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
he kind of wants to see if this tree recoils or moves or if it's alive or something like that. So
Sure.
he'll attempt to poke it.
We'll say you get up to about
And then
there,
the
and
little
you find
purple eye.
a smaller root. Like there's these big pieces of roots over here, but you can say that's a smaller one comes out over there.
I like to be near Frank when he does it.
Sure.
I had almost the same idea.
Okay, fair. Move where you like. You guys can both poke. And it does not writhe or wriggle or move. You poke it, and it feels like bark.
Is that one of the eyeballs yet?
No, you were just poking the tree. Are you poking at eyeballs?
Okay. Well, I'll mention the Franco. That, well, if not the tree, let's think about the eyeball next.
Yeah, well, that one's going to happen with fire, and he looks over to Puck.
I also brought fire.
And then looks over his other shoulder to G-Pain to acknowledge him.
I learned a new spell.
Or hit it with that big axe.
Oh, yes. And G-Pain runs over with the ghost axe and chops at the branch.
You're chopping at a root?
Yeah.
Move to where you're moving and chop at a root.
Don't say
Oh.
enjoy your movie.
What
That's
are
the
you
worst
doing?
thing a
What the
GM
fuck
could
are you
say.
doing?
And hell yeah, I chop on that root.
Hold on. Does Puck see this happening? Can
Yeah,
I,
well, he said he's doing it. So does
I-
Puck want
I
to do
would
anything
like
in
to-
his 6
I
seconds?
would like to intervene in this, if like verbally. If,
Okay.
He gets to here and he stops. He says, "What?"
G-Pain said, "Oh yeah, the axe," and walks over towards the root, and you
Yeah.
say,
Stop.
This is like the reverse. Usually we have to tell Puck to stop.
Yeah.
Now suddenly Puck's the voice of reason.
Yeah, I'm this close to even being like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
G-Pain looks closely. Why?
There is something very wrong here. We need to know more before we tamper with things.
Cutting is not the solution.
But what better
Not
place
yet.
to learn?
Cutting
to
is
learn
not the beginning.
what better place to learn about something than the root?
So Puck just kind of snorts and walks over and begins casting the 2 spells that I
Read
stuck
aura?
in the thing.
Check magic.
Yeah, tell me about this tree.
"There is
What's
magic
going
in
on
the
with
tree.
this tree?
There is powerful magic in this tree, Puck. It's not the most powerful magic. It's up there. It's not the most powerful you felt, but it is a fairly powerful magic. It is primal magic, transmutation, and necromancy. The same sort of magic you felt at the witch's tree. But this is far beyond that.
Yeah.
Can I hit it?
Puck looks back kind of impatiently, continuing to ask him. And will.
So, Puck, you're definitely getting vibes from this tree. As you scan
Yeah.
it and move a bit closer, this tree is of the hair, but not at the same time. You are drawn to it and repulsed, similarly to how you interacted with the warg in the witch cave.
Yeah.
This is right and wrong. It's familiar and repulsive.
The heck is going on with these people?
Do we need to look around for runes again?
Yeah, let's thoroughly inspect the.
We as a group
here.
take a field trip around the base of the tree.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, or like just spread out and look.
No,
touch anything.
No spreading out.
No
As a
spreading
small
out.
group,
Yeah.
just like kindergartners, we all hold the end of the rope as we move along together. Have everybody partner up as we go around the tree.
So we go around the tree, we look for runes. Go.
All right.
Yes.
So you do that, and so how close do you get when you're walking around? You walk around like the perimeter, or like you get
Yeah,
how
perimeter, not inside the.
Spiral
Spiral
down.
in,
30
yeah.
feet, 20 feet.
But just outside that first cement, that first stone
Yeah,
ring.
yeah. You walk on like
Yeah.
the ridge first. Yeah. So as you walk around the ridge, you do see that carved into the tree there are druidic runes. You see the same sort of curved, sort of balance symbols carved all over this thing. And in addition, there are other runes on it. And you can make an occult check to see if you know what that is. And if I ever ask for an occult check or religion check or whatever, and you have lore that you think matters, bring it up, because it might.
But we're gonna hero point that one.
Joe, you said it's a ridge. How tall? How high is that drop off?
This is, let's say each ridge is 5 feet. So this is like 10 feet above where you are, because there's 2 ridges, and this is 5 feet above, and this is 5 feet above, and the stump goes up to about 8 feet.
Okay.
Again, it looks like it's 8 feet tall, so it's like higher than you are, because it's 5 feet up and also 8 feet tall. But you can tell that it's cut. It's like flat at the top there. Blah, 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 blah. So Franco. So even in Puck, you are aware that these are witch type runes. They are like, occultish witch type runes, similar to some of the things you've seen. And Franco knows a bit more about them. So yeah, they are definitely like binding and summoning type runes. They are calling something here, binding something here on the tree.
Would Frank have any
Yeah, it's a
idea
puck
how to
wolf.
how to disturb that? Like, if you desecrate the rune, would it undo it, or?
Yes, both you and Puck believes that is part of it. You should desecrate these runes, and the holy water will probably
Yeah, so-
help, and burning is always good.
Yeah, find more of these. Buck will relay to find more of these that look like this.
Yes, and they are fewer than the druidic ones. You see a lot of the curved ones that everyone seems to know about, but the witchy binding ones are not plastered everywhere. They are kind of not hidden, but throughout the tree. So yeah, you guys do a couple of laps, and I'll just do one perception check for the whole thing. Oh, don't have the Leshy selected because it only rolls random. Delee. Let's see.
So, Puck, you're saying not everything's evil then?
I don't know, but it seems.
Well, we can start with the ones that we think are evil, and then
We'll
continue along.
we'll keep burning until.
Okay, so you do some laps, and those are really good, even with a 29. Yeah, so you find... you do a couple laps on the tree, and you find 6 of those witchy runes.
That's amazing. There's 6 of us.
That is odd.
So Puck will glance up at the Flytrap Leshy and see what kind of condition he's in at this point.
Did you give him any of the holy water?
Not yet.
Yeah, no,
We're about to.
so he is enfeebled 3 at the moment, statistically, and he is just he looks like he can barely hold his head up. Like as you're talking about the runes, you watch as he like lifts his head to watch over Gimbolo's shoulder and almost collapses in exhaustion.
Yeah, so Puck will walk and climb up to where he is on Gimbolo and give him, let's say, a quarter of the vial.
Okay.
And will also growl like, do not make this a waste. Which
I
I
have to
will.
check and see if there's any kind of medicine might be able to help the little Leshy.
It's all about the fact that he looks completely dehydrated. This blight, whatever it is, it's not just like a disease on plants. Like everything here seems to be having the water sucked out of it.
Can we feed him water?
You believe that would
Yeah, I
work,
just
but
gave
only
him
for a
some
time.
holy
Like
water.
it happens so fast.
Anything's... Okay.
But the holy water seems to be, at least given Gimbolo's case, who chugged gallons of it, he seems to be resistant to this area. But yeah, so even the little bit you gave him, immediately, like the area around his mouth immediately becomes green, and you can watch as it spreads out, but it doesn't cover his whole body. So like you watch as his neck and head and torso begin to become alive again, and he can kind of lift his head up a bit more, but he's still like not much of a help in a fight.
This is enough for now.
Yeah.
We'll kind of elbow Gimbolo to translate.
Hey, do you think Gimbolo can puke up any of that stuff he already drank? I know a guy is really good about doing this.
Yeah, you got a puke mancer in the party, it's true.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, so you've got it. You found 6 witchy runes. You have fed the plants. What is the plan?
So do we do all 6 at the same time, one each of us, or do we try to do it one at a time? I almost feel like 6 at
I
once
think
is probably
it
the better go. But
works. Yes.
Okay. Let's do
Purge
it.
it completely.
All right, Joe, you want to place all 6
I
of
was
us?
gonna say, I get to place you all around the map. Is that
You
what-
place
go
us,
ahead.
yeah,
Oh,
put us,
yeah, let's
put
let
us
the
in danger,
DM do
Joe.
it.
Please, put us in danger.
That's what I heard.
Please, Joe, separate the party and put us in a spot where we can all be vulnerable. It's your dream come true.
Man, is anybody? There's no.
When we're all
room-
together, he shows up with dudes with fireballs. I feel like it's a lose-lose.
All right, so you all have gone next to you, within 5 feet of you. There is a witchy rune that you found.
All right, who's counting down?
Divides the remaining holy water amongst the party
Okay.
and instructs them.
I don't
to-
know about these fractional vials of holy water, but
Yeah, just
okay.
wreck it. Just wreck it with a hatchet or something.
Yeah,
That's
just hit it
fine.
as hard as you
Yeah,
can.
Well,
We'll figure out pretty quick what the
let's
problem
give it a
is.
sprinkle, and
We
if
could just-
that doesn't work, then we burn it. but I feel like we start with.
If it really doesn't work, we run out of it because the tree can only reach so far. If it really doesn't work, run out of the tree's reach.
Even's
We
just
can
gonna hit it with the
probably-
cleaver. Let's
Yeah,
do this.
same
Come on,
time.
come on, come on, come on,
Yeah.
come on, come on.
I'm hitting with a sharp object too. As soon as somebody gives me the countdown, I'm swinging.
So who's calling out? Who shouts? Who's
Puck.
counting?
3, 2, 1.
So crack, crack, holy water splash, crack, crack, crack. And as you shatter the symbols, you hear a like you basically you can tell that you've dispersed something. There is a gasp of air, but then the top of the thing begins to crack and shudder. And there is a horrible scream from inside as something bursts out of the trunk.
Keep hitting.
So what you just said is you said there's a crevasse at the top of the tree. Is that what I just heard?
Well, yeah, there's a big crevasse that I encourage everybody to go into. And I was hoping Puck would be higher to notice this, but you watch as the top of the stump begins to part apart, and the wood, the like bark of the stump becomes hair-like and writhes as something comes out of it. And it's screaming as it comes out. And you see
Oh, wow.
the top of the thing.
Hello.
And since you did all the runes, you hit it for 30 damage. Bam. But it comes out shrieking and just lashing hair-like tentacles. These black and brown oily tentacles in all directions. And you watch as in front of it, it has these two tentacles that are somehow like sharpened, and they're just glowing that pale purple that Puck knows is wrong. This is not the hair. This is the hair. This is not
The blighted hair.
of the hair. And this is where the fighting would happen, but I leave it to you to decide because it is 11:51.
Yeah.
So
Call it
Can
here.
we,
yeah.
can we take a few swings and use 0 points and then?
Yeah, if you like.
And bring
if
him
you
back
Here's our
next
moral.
week and finish the fight.
Gimbolo,
Blighted.
how hard is your hard stop? You want to do one round? Where you
Who?
G-Pain,
Oh.
Shrug.
1 round. Yeah, let's do one
One
round.
round? You want to do one round? Okay.
I want to use my hero point. No points.
Okay, fair enough. Alright, so let me add you all the combat. Excluding Gimbolo. That's so smart! It knew to exclude Gimbolo from initiative because he's an eidolon. That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to mash the roll all initiatives and the start combat button. It should pop it out automatically for you. And look, the tree won!
Okay. That doesn't look good.
Gee, why does the corpse of a halfling have initiative?
It shouldn't.
Well,
It's a
yeah,
token.
right. Just say, oh no, don't worry about it until
Yeah.
its turn comes up.
Oh,
Come on, Joe, leave it in there.
Yeah?
Scare
I
us all.
forgot to mention I casted this earlier in the day. So
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
What does
try
that
to
do? You create a buffer, okay.
It just prevents me from dying.
Okay, I believe it. I'm cool with that. So we're up, and the terror tree is going first, and it is surrounded by people. So it comes down again. It's slapping its hair tentacles around these oily black and brown things, and it looks as you have taken all of the runes away from it, and it shrieks. You can see as parts of the hair, as it's bursting out, they burst into chromatic flame because you've destroyed these runes, and it's shrieking and throwing itself all around. And let's see. We are going to cast a spell on. There's 6 of you, so I'm going to roll a 1d6. And 2 in my screen is Franco. So you watch as it writhes and turns to you, Franco, and it casts a spell. Or it's actually an ability, but I will use it. It tries to suck the water out of you, Franco. You need to make a fortitude save. You should be able to click on that thing.
Yep.
Ooh,
So I guess I'm gonna re-roll it.
please.
All right.
It's interesting that it actually tells you the result right there too. That's
I don't like that, but yes, that is.
From now on, should we roll our own
mean-
fortitude saves? We don't. Click
No,
on that one?
that's fine. Because it doesn't tell you how badly you failed, but it does because you would confirm it before you rolled it. All right.
Oh gosh.
Great. Had a great look.
Yeah. So you watch as it begins sucking moisture from you, and you take all of that. So, boom. It does that, and
What the
then
hell?
it use this ability called Writhe, and you watch as a hair tentacle appears behind you, like the wood next to you that you're standing basically animates and becomes a hair tentacle, and that is its turn. G-Pain gets to go.
G-Pain does not like what's going on. I am gonna use Act Together. G-Pain will take 3 actions, leaving Gimbolo with 1. That's right.
Yeah. You use,
That's how it works.
use 2 action version. You get 2 actions, or it gets 2 actions, and the other one gets 1. Yeah.
Not that I take 3, he gets 1.
Well, if you're using the 3 action versions, then you get 3 and he gets 1. Is that what you want?
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So I'll use 3 actions. I will 5-foot step or stride. I think that's the right word. And I will cast Protect Companion. No, I will cast Boost Eidolon. And I will also cast Protect Companion.
Looks like the boost Eidolon spells are out of date. We'll have to look and see if that's fixable, because they don't link. But Protect Companion should work, and we'll figure out what boost does in a bit.
And those are my 3 for him, and Gimbolo, I think he's within 10 feet, right?
Yes, you can hit this guy pretty much wherever you need to be. Like, hitting the tree is hitting him.
Okay, then I will make a strike. And I will do it with my flaming piercing root.
Gimbolo has I forgot you have like flaming piercing roots.
Yes, I took energy hard.
That is not good enough. So yeah, you smash into the bark, and your bark is just not hitting his bark, and all of the roots are writhing slightly as this thing is animated. And that's your whole turn. You took 3 actions. He took 1.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah.
All right, Mendex.
You want to use your hero point?
I will use my hero.
You need to re-roll something though.
I will re-roll that attack roll.
Oh, good point. Yeah, go ahead.
Well done. It doesn't do the math, right?
That's a hit. Yeah. So you manage to pierce. So he hits once and just slams against the trunk, and then he hits it again into one of the roots and actually hits one of the red eye parts, or the purple eye parts. And
Sweet.
you can roll damage.
And I get +2 to damage.
Mhm.
I think I get an extra damage dice from that blessing.
That is accurate. Yes, you have yeah. So just roll 1d6 again, or
Yeah.
whatever. Or you can just match the damage. Yeah, that works. So you did
Fire.
You did 13 damage. Wait, what's the fire exactly? Is it fire
The
damage?
root it's fire based.
Oh, it's
yeah.
all fire damage?
It's fire damage. Yeah.
Well, that's fun. So you did 13, and as you might imagine, trees don't like being on fire, so it takes 23 damage.
Oh, eat that.
Mendax.
All right, question number 1. Am I flanking with either Even, G-Pain, or Gimbolo?
Yes.
That was the answer I wanted to hear. Thank you. All right, attack number 1, as it were.
Yes, that is a hit.
Do I click the damage button under my thing now? I see that.
You can be able to do that. Yeah, you should. That should work. I think they added that, but yeah, that does work. Well, okay, that's a lot. So
Actually, that's not very much, to be honest.
Okay.
I rolled
I just saw the dice. I'm like, well, that's
4,
a lot of
2,
dice.
1, 2 is what it came down
Fair
to. Yeah,
enough.
there's not a lot.
So he takes that damage, but he has damage reduction against piercing things, so he actually heals.
I think am I piercing or slashing? Did it say?
It says
I'm using-
striking
I'm not-
sickle. Yeah, that's
It says slashing on it.
slashing. Then then that's good. That works. Apologies. Yeah,
Phew.
he doesn't heal any of that. Okay. So yeah, your slashing weapon just rips off a piece of bark, and underneath it you can see the tentacles of hair writhing. Like you're not hitting like tree underneath. You're finding hair under the bark.
Okay. Well, I'm feeling stupid. Let's do it again.
What's the worst that could happen? That is a hit. Is that with the map?
Yeah, it was with map.
It did. Yeah, it did say so. You're right. Yeah, there you go. For 14 damage. Yeah, he takes all that too.
Okay. Third question: can I move towards Franco from this position, or is there a penalty for trying to cross over part of the tree?
If you make an acrobatics check to nimbly dodge around,
I'd like to get to that position right there.
Yeah, I'd let you do that. With an acrobatics.
That was. Oh wait, would I still have flanking if I moved to that position?
No. If you move to like a, yeah, I'll give it to you with Puck. Sure. He's so big that I'm just gonna say yes.
Okay. Then I will. Acrobatics, you said?
Yes, acrobatics to move around the writhing vines. And you go against his. You do. You succeed. Okay.
Alright. That's three actions.
All right. Franco.
Okay, well, first action is going to be to chuck one of these bad boys at the tree.
Okay.
Is there a way? Let's see. How do I actually throw it? Is this? Does this work? No.
No, it looks like you drew it.
Alright.
Let me see. Inventory. Alchemist Fire. Lesser? Yeah, it used to have a button or something, and now it doesn't seem
That's
to.
what I thought too. Yeah.
It definitely, like, it still has the details, so I'm surprised it doesn't work. You can just use your ranged whatever thing you use normally.
The star knife.
Oh no, it's there now. Now that you drew it, it's like it's on your attack list, if that makes sense. Look at it, it's under your star knife.
Oh yeah, I see. Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
I guess if you cared about hands as much as I don't really care, I guess you can actually manage it. That is not a hit, because there's no touch attacks in this game, so that is a miss. But you're still gonna get the splash, so how much splash does it do? 1 splash damage?
And 1 persistent. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very cool. I need to look up how this rule works, but yes, for right now, I'm going to add 1 and add a persistent damage token to it. Okay. And what else are you gonna do, Franco?
I am going to zap it and the hair tentacle with some sparks.
Okay. I make a reflex save. I don't think that's good enough, is it? It's
No,
just barely
19.
not. And then it also gets a reflex save to half, or does it not?
I assume each of them gets it.
Okay. So it failed and takes the full 6, and the other one gets 3. Alright.
And then. I guess I'm tempted to throw my star knife at the tree. So this would be this guy.
And you gotta use the map on it because you did it
Yeah.
earlier.
So I'm gonna re-roll that.
Alright.
That's 0 point.
That is still a critical failure.
Ooh.
So you... this is a melee weapon. Shield crash. You deal the attack...
No, it's a
Ranged.
ranged.
Oh, Starknife, yeah. You are fatigued. Everything you've got. So you put so much effort into it that you actually fatigue yourself in throwing. Kaboom. Right, and that's your 3 actions?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Even.
Is it part of the tree? Is this like the actual tree that we're fighting, or is it a creature that's on top of the tree?
You believe it is... Well, it's 8 feet above you, so you can't actually tell, but it seems to have erupted out of the tree.
Okay.
And people are finding hair in the tree, like writhing underneath the bark.
Okay. So Even's going to run up the tree and do what he was doing to the hair tentacles last time, like trying to rip them out of the ground. So he's just gonna rage into a bite attack.
Alright. Alright, go ahead. I like how it sent that message to like everybody specifically, but not even like Larry. It's in that list for some reason. Really, I don't know why that happened.
I rolled a 5. I'll roll it again.
Yeah. That is a hit, and I forgot this cool ability. So watch as you go to bite him. You watch as this log over here holding the corpse of the halfling whips around, and he throws the halfling in between you and the part you're coming to bite, and you basically attack that creature. So he shoves this halfling in your face even as you come to bite him, and when you get up to it, you can tell that it's not, again, it's not like skeletal. It is like, you know, you see the skin, but he is just completely emaciated and devoid of all water. He's just been like dried out, almost to the point where he's preserved. It's hard to tell how old, how dead this thing is as he's shoving it into your face, but you can tell it's like a withered, dried face. He slams it into you, and you do that, right? Hold on. The tree attempts to athletics check, putting his opponent to grapple. So yeah, so I click on athletics, skills, athletics, compared to your fortitude DC.
But it seems to be to the grab thing, so it's a dead body.
Yes.
So it's fighting me with a dead body, so it shouldn't have to. Doesn't make that have to make the athletics check?
Oh, I thought it was against yours. I guess. Oh, the grabs DC. Yeah, I guess. Okay. All right. Yeah. So if he succeeds on that, yeah. So basically, you hit the creature, right? You hit the halfling. You go. There's no other save
Against
for
the new
you.
target's AC, the tree must move the creature into a space adjacent to itself. The creature must also be moved within the attacker's reach against the melee attack. The tree can't use its ability to make the attacker target itself, even if it's grabbed. So it's not. Damn it! I thought it was going to try to grapple me. I was excited for a second.
No. He whips the thing around and slams it into your mouth, and you bite a completely dried out halfling. As you get like an arm, you bite into it, and it feels like you're chewing ashes and dust.
Halfling jerky.
So I destroy the halfling, yeah?
Yeah. You basically, like, you bite into its arm, and its arm begins to melt away. Like, fade away.
Okay.
You got an action left, yeah?
Yeah, I guess I'll try something.
What? Attack, grapple, or what?
Yeah, I don't think a grapple is going to be terribly effective, but
Don't get too close.
yeah, what the hell?
Oh, no. Yeah, no.
Roll a 3.
Fuck.
Puck looks at the tree and sneers at it and begins to get glowy. Revertus ist mandatum.
Oh, good. Or 68. Yes.
Tells him in hair speak that his power is a lie.
This thing can cast divine spells, so 68 it is, sir. So that damage button is not going to work. You need to slash roll 6.
He gets a save first to see how much of it he gets.
Sure.
Oh, fuck you, tree.
No.
Unaffected.
Well,
This is
apparently
bullshit.
he's unaffected.
Fuck you.
Sorry. I was excited.
Alright, fucking asshole.
So it turns to you and speaks back in Hair Latin that I can't summon on the spot. Is that you got more actions?
I got one left. Why do I have so much of a better bonus on the lesser fire than moderate fire? I've got a +9 bonus for fucking the lesser. But only
I see
+5
that.
for
I don't know. I'll have to look.
moderate.
That's a wonderful question.
Isn't lesser higher than minor?
Yeah, but it's a 9 and a 5.
Like it's the
huge
bonus,
difference.
yeah. For the attack bonus, which I feel like should be
Yeah, we'll look at that later, though.
quality of the alchemist fire.
I think it might be like a +1 better, but it should not be a +4 better. Maybe one's using Dex and one's using Strength or something. But we can figure that out later unless it matters. For right this second.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely want to roll with the +9.
Well, are you going to use the better one? Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was the lesser.
You rolled a 2, so that's not going to do it.
Why is this?
Do you have a hero point?
No.
Okay.
I got nothing.
All right.
Just
So
horseshit.
that's it, and that's the last. That was the
So
one
that's
round we're
another
gonna
splash and another persistent fire for him, at least.
do. Oh, that's true. Yes, there is another persistent fire. That's true. I'm gonna write that down. So, or I can maybe add another one. There's 2 persistent fires on it. Right. Okay. So we're gonna stop here, but I'm gonna just do one of its actions just to be dramatic. As it's looking at you, Puck, and speaking to you in Hair Latin, it casts a spell back at you. And you get to make a Fortitude save.
Ooh.
Fucking Christ!
Yeah.
This is.
You
Good
watch
job.
as, just like it sucked water out of Franco, it is sucking your life force out of you. And it takes those 20 hit points from you, and it's going to heal them.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's what we'll stop for the night. It has, like I said, it's one action left, so I should just use it so I don't forget. It is going to command its it's going to use its minion thing to command its hair tentacle to get 2 actions, and it's going to attack Franco. So again, the hair don't act on their initiative; they're basically their minions, and it is going to use the flurried strikes ability on Franco. It gets to attack you twice with a -2 on both of them. So let's see, it's 23 and a 19. The 23.
Dodge, 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 dodge.
Yeah,
dodge,
missed
dodge.
with the dodge.
Yeah, so the 24, you have a 23. It becomes a 22, you're right. So a miss and then a miss. Yes, they both miss because of the nimble dodge. Yeah. So yeah, so you watch as it turns the Puck and sucks out some of his life force, and then one of his tentacles gestures this way, and the writhing tentacle that he summoned stabs at Franco twice and just barely misses as Franco nimbly dodges between the strikes. And we'll call it there. So we'll continue on from there. We'll figure it out. But for now, morals and MVP. Who did what well, and why?
G-Pain was on fire tonight.
Literally.
Talking to the plant creatures, and trying to make friends with them, but everything else he did good.
I appreciated your round, actually, and he dished out a lot of damage. That one round.
That's the first time I've got to use that weapon.
Yeah, I'm trying to roll. I'm
I've had
trying
it
to
for almost
roll
2 months, and I finally got to swing it. I've talked us out of the last 3 fights.
That's true. We did a lot of social sessions. So go ahead and
Yes.
/GM. Let me know. Vote or keep nominating if you want. But while you're doing that, I will look at the morals. The morals we have are Dare Magic and them Dur Rocks, says Puck. How long ago were they strewn? Make a strewn check. Emperor, or whatever plant title you like. What about all that money we would get from the local market for those cloaks? This is the taint. This is the defiling. Snickering commences between the eggplant and the page. Not sure which one best represents the taint. Okay, they're talking about the moral there. Okay. Puck looks skeptically at his tiny vial of holy water. What better place to learn something than that of the root? And can we take a few swings and use hero points? So MVP wise, I have a tie right now, and Nas, you have to vote, and not for you,
And not Dylon.
not for Dylon. I need Nas to vote and break a tie.
Even.
Because he spits
I'm
hot
pretty
fire.
sure it's over.
And the moral voting is happening. I believe this is the taint is going to win.
Yeah, that's the clue,
Mendax,
I think.
your MVP. This is the taint, is the moral.
Thank you, everybody.
And we will resume next session. So thanks for watching, thanks for playing. Hit that bell, deeply do, blah blah blah. Welcome back, Shirag. Love having you back. It's been
it's great to be
5
here.
months without you, and super
Thank you for
excited.
having me.
Yeah, hope you can make a bunch more. So yeah, thanks everybody.